of Famer from the Everlight Solar Studio. This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
The Tuesday edition. Why were we nervous? Is it just our inferiority complex? They got Dame. They got Giannis for 3 more years edition. The flashes of brilliance, both on this show and from the Packers' young offensive players. Or maybe not. Maybe the big fella disagrees. Edition. The Matt LaFleur had a really good answer and a very supportive answer of his quarterback, but it was nuanced, and I want to get into it a little bit later. Edition. And what is the greatest play in Packers history that didn't count? I got my vote, and I was reminded of it yesterday, watching the Badger Football Instagram account edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on Wisconsin On Demand, which allows you to get your podcast of this show where you get all your other podcasts. Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, and Stitcher. I'm Chase Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. And from his undisclosed Ring of Honor location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I feel this much better now after watching a little bit of that game last night with the Vikings playing their best game of the season. I feel really good about the Packers beating Minnesota Sunday. Like, really good.
An interesting spin, because when I joined Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning, I'll let you finish. Hold on. Jen was the exact opposite. Now she's very concerned that they can't beat the Vikings because the Vikings just went out and whooped Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy and the crew from the 49ers have now lost 2 in a row, I believe.
Yeah.
Tausch, why?
Yeah,
what is the logic behind your position?
So I always want to play teams that are feeling fat and happy.
Yeah.
I don't want to play teams that everybody is beating them into submission.
They're
like
desperate.
The Green Bay Packers.
Like
the
the
Green
Denver
Bay Packers'
Broncos.
desperation level is at an all-time high. This probably, I think there's, obviously the expectation game is different, but this is, I think, for Matt LaFleur for certain, low point. This is the low point for him. I think he is going to have his best performance, and I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to come in here a little fat and happy. They played an awesome game last night. San Francisco is a really good team. Without Justin Jefferson, they got the young kid. Is it Addison?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
He looked like he was all world last night.
He was very good last night.
I loved when I saw Minnesota pull that off. I thought this is awesome for us that are hoping Green Bay can get back on track and get a win. So I feel Homer on Green Bay game night was, the Vikings, all this. The Vikings are still favored. I love Green Bay now. and without the week of prep, you don't even have to tell me who's not playing and who is. The mentality game, the psychological part, big ups to the Green Bay Packers on Sunday.
Jesse, as a Packers fan yourself, are you on Team Tausch on this take?
No. I watched that game last night, too, because the baseball game got out of hand pretty early. The Vikings looked as good as they have all year. And
3 of their last 4 they've won.
I would much rather be trending in the right direction than the wrong direction, and the Packers are trending in the wrong direction, and the Vikings are trending in the right direction. You just said yesterday, Tausch, you just said yesterday, like, there's nobody you can confidently say the Packers can beat in the NFL besides the Bears. Like, that's the only team you can look at.
No, I didn't even say they could beat the Bears.
Yeah.
Not even Carolina?
I said Carolina.
I'm sorry,
Carolina
you did say
is what I
Carolina.
said.
You did say
But
Carolina.
then he said,
dogfight.
but I don't want to face them on the road, which they do on Christmas Eve.
And now the Vikings look good last night, and you're going to say, oh, good news for the Packers
Jesse,
coming Sunday. Yeah.
I have to admit, I don't expect you to understand. I don't, and that's not to like besmirch you. No, it's not to besmirch you at all. And I'm not trying to be. No, it's seriously, it's not. I'm not.
But
Just trust me, Jesse.
It sounds
I'll be a
besmirchy.
jerk.
Feels besmirchy.
It sounds a little high and mighty. I'll give you that.
Okay.
But it was not meant to be. There are times I'm acting high and mighty to you. This is not one
The
of them.
voice changed a little bit, and that's usually the tell.
It wasn't smuggy. I was not being smuggy McGee. That's not what I said. But I don't expect you to understand. There is
you're an idiot.
The NFL. The NFL is such a week-to-week operation.
True.
And good teams don't ride waves. Bad teams and average teams do. Minnesota is an average team. I still think they're going to struggle to get to 7 or 8 wins. I still think Green Bay and Minnesota are going to be battling out in that second spot in the NFC North. That's where I think this is going to play. And one of the things you notice with young teams, and especially like really average teams, they will ride waves a lot more, and they'll let the psychological component affect them. Minnesota's on a short week. They just had their signature win. There's going to be a letdown. So even with the Packers being El Stinko in the first half of the last month, this will be a great time for them to break out. And I could be wrong. I'm not sitting here telling you that I'm some guru when it comes to this. If Minnesota is better than what I think, which I still don't think they're very good. They played a great game last night. You can muster up the energy and the emotion to do that with a home crowd and all the things. I don't see them doing it again. That's why. The consistency level for average to below average teams ain't there. They emptied their bucket. Are they going to be able to fill it back up when Green Bay is filling theirs? Because Green Bay's bucket is empty. Green Bay is going to be as desperate of a team as we'll see in the NFL this weekend. That's why I like the fact that Minnesota played their best game of the year, and that's why I feel Green Bay is in a great spot Sunday. I might have to change my headline with the Academy. That's how much how much more confident I am than where I was leading into yesterday.
Wait, does that require re-recording? Like, have you already done the song?
I have not. Typically we record on Wednesdays. So
Okay,
I'll be in
good to
the
know.
Everlight Solar Studio tomorrow, and Jesse kind of has an idea of where we're at already.
Okay, all right.
How did watching one game and one night of sleep totally flip your entire tune on the Packers season?
Hey. We like this version of him. Okay? Don't discourage this
Jesse,
version of
The
him.
sky was falling yesterday, and we were going to tank for Drake.
No, the sky
May.
still
Now it's
fell.
like, we can
Well-
beat the Vikings. Yeah, this is
Hey,
looking
Jesse.
good this Sunday.
Jesse, we've been doing this show now for a while. You, me, and Jason. Obviously, there's been a lot of breaks from you and Jason, especially recently. But
Unbelievable.
I always tell you, NFL season is week to week. You adjust. You react, and you overreact, and then you reset, and then you look at things, and then you go about it. Every week is its own story. There isn't any – this isn't like it's some TV sitcom where it's, this happened. It's a new. You're bringing in new characters. It is a new week.
It's been 21 hours, and the team they're playing this Sunday looked as good as they have in 9 months.
As I said, non-smugly, Jesse. As I said, non-smugly. I don't expect you to understand.
All right,
I wasn't being smug. I don't.
I have to ask you. I ask this cautiously and with the utmost respect. You said young teams and average teams ride the wave. You've also told me that it's not my job to try and keep people from riding the wave as fans, right? So just to recap kind of how things have played out from your perspective on the Green Bay Packers, the person on the panel who knows way more about football than anyone else, you have
more besmirching.
Well, I was including myself in there.
Oh, yeah.
You had them in the playoffs after they beat the Bears. You've now adjusted that slightly. You had, if Jordan Love plays better than everyone expects he will be in the Pro Bowl, right? You had him getting a contract extension during the course of the season. But then, after some of the struggling that they have experienced, you were as down could be on this team yesterday. You have been very critical of the head coach. You wanted to get after me, but we didn't have time because we took 3 hours worth of calls about me suggesting that there have been moments of brilliance that I've seen from these young fellows. And now you're telling me that after what you saw last night, it has actually uplifted your belief in a team that you have definitely ridden the wave on. Yeah, is that a fair summary of where we stand?
I think part of it's fair. The part, I'm not sitting here telling you Green Bay is going to be star-spangled awesome on Sunday. I'm telling you Minnesota's going to stink. And Green Bay is going to be able to ride that part of it. That's what I'm telling you. I think Green Bay is going to be desperate. I think they're going to play better than what they did. But I think Minnesota's going to fall on its face a little bit this week. That's what I think.
Okay.
That's why I feel better about it. It's not. This isn't like me changing, Green Bay's all of a sudden world beaters. No, Green Bay's still a bottom tier NFL team right now.
Okay.
But I just don't think Minnesota is not. They say you are who you think you are. That ain't who they are.
Wait a minute.
That team we saw last night.
They say you are what your record
That ain't
is.
who they are. No, Dennis Green said something different.
They are who we thought they were. He said.
That's what you were going for. Okay.
They aren't who we think. They aren't who we saw them be last night. That's what I'm telling you. And I could come in here Monday and I'll eat a big old stalk of crow if Minnesota lights up Green Bay and beats us by 20 points. It ain't gonna happen. I feel. Now, can they sneak out and win? Maybe. I think that the Green Bay Packers are in a much better position. The fact that Minnesota played on a Monday and played its best game of the year, and I think psychologically,
desperation.
I love the difference in what that's going to look like. And in the NFL, that matters with average teams. This isn't some monster talent gap that Minnesota has over Green Bay. So that's why I feel as good about it as I do. Thank you very much for trying to summarize it as much as you could. But this is where I'm at, not anything to do with where Green Bay is.
Thank you for coming to our Tausch Talk. Okay, this is good. I hope you're right, because Packers fans could use that kind of a good feeling, even if they don't play a stellar, star-spangled, awesome game.
Kirk Cousins is never going to play. I don't think Kirk Cousins can play a better game. Kirk Cousins was star-spangled awesome last night.
Like with dudes in his face constantly, too, making throws.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And by the way, I've been on this guy for years. Darisaw is the best left tackle in the NFL. Period. I'll have when Bulaga joins us. Does he join us tomorrow?
I've been on this guy for years. I've never heard you say his name on the show before.
I've said Minnesota's tackles are really good, and their left tackle, this is his second year, so years is fair. I said it last year when I saw him play. I said, that dude's special.
Okay.
He is. Okay. I don't want to put this on him. He has Walter Jones qualities.
That's high praise.
He has Walter Jones qualities.
Yes.
and I'll be fascinated. I'll text Bulaga. I'll have him break
Tackle
down some
talk,
film.
yeah. I love
He's
it.
really good. Hey, he went against Bosa last night. 40 rushes, one deal he had on him. That's Bosa, who is unblockable. That's how good 71 is for Minnesota.
You know who once blocked Bosa really well in Santa Clara, and now he can't even get on the field other than to block field goals?
Yash.
Is Yash. I'm not saying that it's easy to do. That was more praise for Yash than it was criticism or reducing what Darisaw did or what we saw from Darisaw last night. All right, we were going to start with discussing Giannis signing an extension. But let's be honest. That's why we bring JG on the program. Justin Garcia is going to join us next. We'll talk a little bit about that. But this is a Packers and Nonsense show, and you get what you come here for most of the time. And that, I am not saying that was nonsense. I'm not. Soap cleaning itself, that kind of nonsense, I mean. That I hope you're right. I hope your theory is right. You do have – this is consistent with your belief, too, that the more desperate teams usually are the ones that win when it's mediocre to bad teams.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I like the text suggesting that then if the Packers win this Sunday, then we should probably feel bad about them heading into the Rams game.
No, because
and
I saw that text and I didn't get to read it, but I would just say this so we can get to Pella Windows and Doors and then to Justin Garcia. Last night's Vikings win, that wasn't them beating the Bears or another mediocre team. That was a 5-1 team.
They will not play a better game all season.
So if the Packers beat the Vikings, this isn't the same as them, say, beating the Chiefs when they play them later this season. Like, that would be the similarity of a type of win that the following week I would be thinking, I don't know if they'll be up for it.
So part of the deal, and I don't mind. I saw the text. I know we didn't respond to it. I don't mind because that thinking is consistent with what I'm saying. The thing with young teams, you learn how to win, and then you build that confidence. And the hard part about being a professional, and Mike McCarthy said this from the jump, is handling success.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I thought it was crazy when he said it because it's always great athletes love adversity. Now, it's getting to be a little different. Handling adversity is getting to be more and more tricky because it's magnified more than when I played.
No doubt.
But handling adversity is something built into really good athletes. What is not is handling praise and being able to stick with your plan and being consistent. With today's marketplace and with how things are amplified, you reading press clippings and understanding that, it's a bad thing when you're on the positive side of it, which sounds crazy, but from a competitive standpoint, it's rat poison city. And unfortunately, there's too many people that nibble on that rat poison, and you got to get it out of your bloodstream before it's too late. Yeah, I know you don't like it, but
really
Nick Saban does,
that.
and Nick Saban is
Nick
the greatest
Saban.
college football coach of all. I'm not, but I'm quoting him. It's a great quote. It hits exactly what I'm saying, Jason.
I know.
You don't think Minnesota's going to be nibbling? Minnesota's nibbling at rat poison this week. They are.
I can see the Niners.
Oh, my God. You guys beat the Niners. You guys just beat what was the best team in the league, man. You guys did it without Justin Jefferson. That's impressive, guys. Oh, man, now you're playing this ragtag group down in Green Bay. I don't know what the hell they're doing. You don't think they're nibbling on that rat poison? Paul Allen is pushing that rat poison. Believe that.
Don't take the cheese. Take the rat poison instead or something. I don't enjoy the imagery. That's all. What I do enjoy is Gina Della and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin for their support of our program and for their high-quality windows.
Minnesota executed some high-quality plays last night. They're not going to do that consistently on Sunday, but Team Pella does execute incredible plays every day. Products with limited lifetime warranties, like incredible innovations, with blinds and shades between the glass, stylish windows with hidden screens that will make your game days a breeze. This Pella play proves to be the game-winning Tutter. Make monthly payments as low as $19 per window and $75 per patio door. You can get a free quote at PellaWI.com today. 6.99% APR financing for 120 months. Certain restrictions do apply. See showroom for details. This offer ends a week from today, which is trade deadline and Halloween.
Justin Garcia, our Bucks buddy. We get to hear Green and Growing, which is always a highlight, in addition to hearing Justin's insight on the Bucks. Giannis inked. We'll talk about it next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Toscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. Whether you're saving up to buy a jersey for your new favorite player, tickets to a game, or simply need some extra spending money for you and your family, it's always great to learn new ways to save some extra cash. Well, I've been telling you for a while now about how you can save money and help save the planet by making the switch to Everlight Solar. When my family first thought about making the energy switch to solar, we weren't exactly sure where to go. That's when we got in touch with the team at Everlight Solar, and through every step of the process, they were great as we made that switch to solar. If you're interested in making the switch, let them do the same for you. Check out EverlightSolar.com to find out more and schedule a free consultation. Save money and help save the planet. When you're ready to make the switch, take my word for it. Count on the team at Everlight Solar.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
The standards have been set from quarterbacks that have been here before us, and you're trying to continue to raise your game until you get to that bar.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're going to evolve throughout the course of the season. It's always the fine line of what's too much.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Sunday's loss, another heartbreaker for Matt LaFleur's Packers team, who has lost 3 in a row and drops to 2-4 on the season. And yes, the game did come down to a Jordan Love interception late, but Matt LaFleur isn't letting Love take all the blame.
It's a true test to all of us. It is extremely frustrating. I think that the only thing you can do is test your resolves, but I do believe in the guys in that locker room in terms of the character that we have. But it does test you, no question about it. But you gotta look internally and see what can you control. What are the things that you can do better?
Practice for Sunday's home game against the Vikings gets underway once again this week on Wednesday.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
If you're looking to fill the vacant space in your commercial building, the local agents at RE/MAX and the Preferred Commercial Group are eager to grow your bottom line. Head to commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN and find an investment partner to lead the way to your property dreams today.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
A bank that goes the extra yard? You got it. Show your love for the green and gold with Packers checking only from Associated Bank. Make every transaction a touchdown with your Packers debit MasterCard. And when you use it at the Packers Pro Shop, at the stadium, or online, you'll get 10% off. Associated Bank's Packers checking scores the home field advantage by delivering Midwest-based customer care, outstanding value, and more. Get in the game and learn more today at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
God, this just makes me so happy because it means, A, because I love the song, but B, it means our Bucks buddy Justin Garcia joins us on Wilde and Tausch. But I look, we got to talk about Giannis. We got to talk about what this means short and long term. But is it true that you're moving this week?
Oh, God. It is. I can confirm I'm moving Friday morning, so nothing like, working late. The season debut of Bucks Talk Thursday night. And
Bucks
getting
House.
up.
We got to get to that
Bucks,
real estate show.
That's next week.
This fits perfectly with that show, by the way. This is perfect for that.
Sort of, yeah. Especially if it was some type of HGTV remodeling. And then I get to get up early, jump on a call in the morning, and then go get a truck and start to move.
Why would you? If I don't want to criticize you unless it's deserved. Why, when the National Basketball Association tips off its season, would you choose to move at that particular time?
What did Jesse tell you? Because
he just said you're moving, and it's the start of the NBA season, which I found curious.
Okay. Well, it wasn't entirely my decision. I'm moving in with someone. So.
Oh. Interesting.
Oh, now it's forget Giannis. Who is this
He's
person?
roommates with Damian Lillard. Can you believe it?
He might be moving in with Terry Stotts. Who knows what's going on? He's got a good
nice
deal on
place
Stotts' old place.
Nice. Well done.
It's another person, and it was mostly her call on when this move is taking place.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that your mom has decided to let you live with her again, because I know she's a big fan of the show. All right, let's talk about Giannis. Give us the clear understanding now of what this means, why this happened, because for the second straight time, I was starting to feel before he was going to get one of these deals that it might not happen, and then lo and behold, it happened. So help us understand why.
Well, I'm still I was certainly caught off guard so it happened yesterday because yesterday was the deadline for you to take the extension before the season begins, and then you would have to wait until the summer. I thought all along, and I think all of us basically did, he would sign an extension next summer. He even kind of joked about that at Media Day, and the reason that was kind of the prevailing thought was he can sign a 3-year extension now. For I know the number they gave is $186 million. It's probably going to be closer to 175 because it's a max, so it's tied to what the salary cap is. So that 186 number is just if the cap goes up 10% each of the next 2 years, and it probably won't. But if he waited until next year, he could sign, or next summer, he could sign for an additional year and an additional roughly $60 million. So the first year of this extension wipes out the player option year that he has. So it keeps Giannis in Milwaukee, at least under contract, through the 26-27 season. And, that is the same year that Damian Lillard's contract runs up, or he has a player option for that year. And Chris Middleton has a player option for the year before that. So this kind of lines up of we got 3 years with this group, and then let's see where it goes. I think, when we talked about that extra year that he potentially left on the table here, Bobby Marks pointed out the logic behind this and taking this now may be that he can essentially sign 3 more contract extensions, including this one, if he signs now. The NBA has a rule where you can't sign a 4-year deal if you're 38 years old or going to be 38 at any point in that contract. So by doing 3 years now, once that player option hits, he can decline it, sign a shorter-term deal, somewhat similar to this, do the same thing, and then sign a 4-year deal or a 3-year deal with the option again because he wouldn't be 38 yet. So I would assume the logic behind this is I can wait until next summer and sign these 2 deals, or I can sign it now and sign 3 deals, and that's probably going to be it in my career.
So, JG, is it – I mean, obviously money plays a factor in everything, but how much of this also is not having the distraction and really letting Dame know, hey, we're in this thing together. There's not going to be any of this bouncing around, and I'm going to be getting out of this thing. To let him know before the season starts, it's us. We got to make this thing work. Let's do it. How much of that compared to, obviously, the $186 million?
I think that's a part of it. Giannis joked about it at Media Day that, they got Dame, and I said I wanted to see us remain competitive. They held up their end of the bargain. I'm going to sign next summer. So I get the impression, and, everybody that's dealt with him has kind of conveyed this as well, that, Giannis, he's never looked for a reason to leave. He's always been steadfast of, I want to stay here. I'm loyal. This is where I basically learned the game I developed. I came to America. They helped my family get over here. So it's my preference to stay here. But this isn't just going to be, hey, I'll stay here and I'll sit through rebuild. So if you hold up your end of the bargain, I'll do the same here. I think the other big part, not just the Dame aspect of, Dame gets traded to Milwaukee. We thought he wanted to go to Miami. He said all along, this was on the list as well, that once I realized Miami wasn't an option, my agent said, what about this place? And I said, yeah, let's pursue that. But I think the other big part is for Adrian Griffin's sake, too. Especially when a week out from the season, you have a massive shakeup to your coaching staff and a guy that I think everybody viewed as the safety net for a first-year head coach. Terry Stotts is gone, and if the Bucks got off to a slow start, which is entirely possible because there's a lot of change on this team, not just the offensive philosophy, the defensive philosophy. We think the defense will probably take a step backwards. Damian Lillard has been somewhat of a slow starter throughout his career as well, but there's just a lot of moving pieces with this team. And if you get off to a slow start and Giannis doesn't have that extension signed, we know what the conversation is. It's going to be, well, is this actually going to work with these two? Did they hire the right coach? And that just kind of hangs over the team for the first half of the year. So now that's out of the picture as well.
JG, does he sign this extension if it's still Drew Holiday and the old squad, or do you think the Bucks showing that they're going out getting Dalla Dame, is that what made him do this?
I have a feeling, yes, that's the impetus for it. I mean, it's $1 million question of does he sign if the group remains as is. I'd be inclined to say no. I think, Giannis would probably would have been advised as well. Let's wait and see where this is headed. Let's wait and see how it works out with Griff. Let's, wait to see what changes may come with this team because that extension is going to be there in the summer, so there's no rush to sign it. And now when you have this massive swing and a guy that, again, on paper, seems like these two would be the perfect fit together, I think that was the big part of it, and especially knowing when Dame's contract runs up, that this basically lines you up with him and says, okay, we're in this together for the next 3 years.
Yeah, I love it. We said that in, when did they get eliminated? April? Here we go. So what happened with Terry Stotts? I joked that you were subletting his place, but what happened?
And are you replacing him on the staff?
Well, if I'm replacing him on the staff, I'm going to be moving again because I'd be looking for a different place then. I don't really know. It's funny. I was talking with a couple of people last week before the final preseason game, and we saw the report that there was some type of incident. It seems like it may not be quite as dramatic as it was purported to be initially, but there was something that happened at the walkthrough and shoot around before that Tuesday game a week ago in Oklahoma City. But the funny part is the people I talked to that were on that trip had all kind of said, I didn't even see anything that happened. So this caught me off guard. We were there for this portion and I didn't notice anything. So I know it's easy to rush to they just never got along. And I do know the Bucks, have faith in Adrian Griffin. And this was the guy that meshed with all the players that they allowed him to meet with. He has, at least in terms of an assistant, a pretty good pedigree and has worked with some good coaches. But part of it, too, is, look, you're still a first-year head coach. And when you wear the whistle for the first time, you're in charge of calling timeouts. it's going to take some time. So we do want to surround you with a support staff of experienced coaches. Now, that was part of it, of we really want these two guys, and Terry Stotts and Joe Prunty there, to help you out. I don't know how much of it was a personality clash versus the other part is, Terry Stotts had been the head coach for 9 years. That was the last thing he did. And I know 2 years removed from that. But, for any of us in all walks of life, when you go from that elevated position to now all of a sudden you're a step down, if you go from I'm the manager to I'm the assistant manager and I'm reporting to this person that doesn't have as much experience as me, that can be a tough adjustment. So I think it was really a number of things that led to this. And I'll say, too, credit to Terry Stotts, credit to both parties for doing this now and saying, this isn't going to work for me. Let's not drag this out. And all of a sudden you see reports of, I don't know if this is working or is there infighting, and that becomes another one of those distractions during the season. It's not great timing, but it's something that I'd rather happen now versus February or December or March.
So they're not hiring you. I mean, maybe they are. I guess I can't 100% rule that out. Do they replace him on the staff?
Well, they've said they're going to look at that, and they'll take their time to examine what's out there and what would be the right fit. I mean, it's certainly not common that you see coaching changes and additions to staff at this point in the season. And, I mean, we did just see about a week or a couple of days before this happened, not fired, but Jeff Van Gundy just joined essentially the staff of the Boston Celtics. So it's kind of a hybrid of front office, G League, and he'll help out with their staff. But we do see it from time to time where guys will jump on. And, especially this time of year, the most common thing is how Adrian Griffin started, is you got a veteran player, comes down to a roster crunch, and you say, look, you're just not going to make our team, but we like you. What do you think about sitting behind the bench and being one of those second-row guys that becomes an assistant? You don't typically see, though, a coach just saying, I'm leaving, and you're replacing that. You're usually adding at this point. So I don't assume anything is going to happen in the immediate future. It may be something where you look for where it lines up that you have more time to integrate somebody. Maybe that's in the second half if somebody's out there and Adrian Griffin has someone in mind. But it's very likely going to be as is, I would assume, for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, it's just it's a strange story.
Well, just wait a second. So, Jason, you said JG to be coach. Jeff Van Gundy was doing media last year. He's coaching.
It's true. I mean, he had been doing some coaching before he started doing media for as long as he did.
It's fair, but it's been a long time. You might as well. It's like 3 decades ago.
Yeah, I mean,
been doing
look,
ESPN
I have
years.
some coaching background as well. I coached some kids at the YMCA and the Boys and Girls Club, and it was also years ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Head coach, because it sounds like it's hard to become an assistant when you've been a head coach previously.
Well, it was more of a co-head coach role,
okay.
So I'm used to.
With Ashton Rotman.
JG, before we let you go, serious basketball question again, because I know Jason's always wanting to talk to you about crock pots and moving and everything else. Beauchamp, what are we thinking? How do you see him fitting in? And anybody that popped that you think is going to get maybe some sneaky rotation minutes as the season gets going that we should be looking for as Bucks fans?
Well, I mean, it's hard not to leave the preseason very impressed with MarJon Beauchamp. We saw Pro-Am, but he scored 83 points over the summer, and I think that kind of raised your eyebrows. He had a very nice showing in the first 2 preseason or the first 2 summer league games back in July, and then kind of regressed a little bit, but he looked night and day different in these preseason games. And the caution is it's just preseason, and we hear from multiple coaches, I don't really take anything from the preseason. We know what we want to install, but we're not game planning for the opponent or doing any of that. But the big difference is he's added close to 10 pounds of bulk, and I think that really shows. He talked to me and Dave Kane after one of the first games, too, and said, that's a big difference for me because last year – one of the issues I had was kind of holding up to the physical play, and I'd have the ball ripped away from me because I wasn't quite strong enough. And now I feel like I've corrected all that. But he just looked so confident, and there was no hesitation. He was very decisive throughout preseason, knowing exactly what he wanted to do and attacked. And that, to me, is the biggest sign and a step forward for a young guy, that you're not thinking about things and you're not thinking, well, what if I do this? And what about that guy? Is he open, or should I do that? There was none of that for MarJon, and he's going to be big in their success moving forward, because it's a roster that's gotten older, and it's a roster, especially with no Drew Holiday, that they just lack perimeter defenders. He has the tools to do that, and so does Andre Jackson, who's another guy that I think really stood out during preseason. And I made this comparison before. It's not so much in their game and skill set, but a lot of Andre Jackson reminds me of Malcolm Brogdon as a rookie, in that, the pedigree in college, a very, very good career, long career as well. He played a national championship game, played for good collegiate coach, and he just comes in ready and maybe not necessarily polished, but he's close to it. And I think, for everything we can point to of the offense and the shooting for Andre Jackson, I've heard from people within the organization, we believe everything else he does is good enough that even if he can't shoot, if he doesn't develop that, he's still going to be able to stay on the floor because of his instincts, his court vision, his passing ability, and what he can do defensively too. So I think those two guys are going to be really big components and X factors potentially for the team. And we've heard from Griffin too. The young guys are going to play, and I would assume it's especially those two. So I think they will get their chance at the NBA level. And I also think it's worth pointing out, we can kind of fall in the trap of, this is how things looked last year, and where would the minutes come from? Because here's this guy is going to back up him, and maybe this guy plays X amount of minutes. You got to remember that was a different coach, and Adrian Griffin may have his own guys versus what we saw before, and may think, well, this guy fits better with what I want to do. So I don't think it's as easy as saying, well, this guy's already here and that guy's there. I don't see minutes for the young guys. I think the minutes are going to come.
JG, you're the best, man. I love that every time we need you, you come through for us. Good luck with the move. It's nice to hear that Ashton Rotman is helping you. Don't throw out your back. It's a long season that you've got ahead of you, though.
All right, guys. We'll see. Can I count on you guys, Tausch?
Yeah, I'll be there. What day?
Friday. So I'll text you the address.
Oh, man. If it was Thursday, maybe. But Friday, I definitely can't, unfortunately. I'd love to, though.
Yeah.
I can see if we can bump it up, but I don't know.
Well,
let me know. Yeah, shoot me a text if you're able to move the movers.
We'll support you by listening to Buck's House and all your other programming across ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ. Thanks, bud.
See you guys.
That is the great Justin Garcia. You can hear him on the Bucks Radio Network calling the games with Dave Kane. We will transition from the Bucks back to the Packers and nonsense next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
It's NBA opening night. Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets begin the defense of their NBA title against LeBron, AD, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Coverage begins tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
6.99 APR for 1 for 20 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers on 10/31/2023.
Mark Tosher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today. today.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. The high school football playoffs are officially here, and ESPN Madison has you covered every single Friday night. Join us beginning at 6:30 each Friday for Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania as we lead you up to the games at Camp Randall Stadium in mid-November.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management, Pasquale's Cantina, UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, the GRB Academy, and Stoughton Health.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
If you want a fresh twist on surf and turf, look no further than North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. Inspired by their time living in the Alaskan Gulf in southern Texas, owners Keith and Aaron brought together unique culinary backgrounds to create a truly authentic American restaurant here in Madison. After expanding to 2 more locations in DeForest and Verona, you can savor smoky, wood-fired barbecue and freshly prepared seafood from around the country. Explore their full menu and dining options at eatnorthandsouth.com. That's eatnorthandsouth.com.
The Prairie Athletic Club offers more for your money than any other health club in the area. Train in CrossFit, Pilates, hot yoga, and over 150 group fitness classes organized per week. Or upgrade to the PAC's new Platinum membership for unlimited access to these sessions, along with Training Zone and Boot Camp classes. Then get outside at the Dolphins Cove Water Park and the Prairie Pines Golf Club in Sun Prairie. Call, stop by, or visit prairieathletic.com today. Prairie Athletic Club, family, fun, and community.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wheatrick family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at titostailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit titostailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
Thanks again to Justin Garcia. We are so lucky to have him and Eric Name at our disposal. They're so good at what they do.
How
if you
old
missed
is
any
JG?
of that,
How old is he?
I don't
36.
know. Is that a
What's
guess
that
or
cutoff
No,
of-
that's definitely a guess.
Yeah, I don't think-
That's clearly a guess,
Okay.
yes.
What? Okay. Great.
I'm wearing off
I don't know,
on
it could be
Jason.
so he literally could be 45, right? I mean, you'd have no idea.
He could be. You asked the question because you don't
I know.
either.
Well, say I don't
tried
know.
to make an intelligent guess
No, Jason,
on it.
We just spent
You
30
telling me
minutes with him.
36
Just
and
ask him.
If
Fair
he's
point.
22, I can't make the claim I'm going to claim. So the reason I asked is because
He's definitely
how
not
old
22.
is it?
He's definitely
How
not
old
22.
are you till you just go hire a mover and don't ask your buddies to help you move? If he's 36, he's probably too old to ask. If he's 30, that's on that cut line.
I
to me.
think it
But the
depends
fact
on
you
how
have
many
no
times
idea-
you've moved. I don't think
That's-
age has
I don't
anything to
know.
do with it, actually.
No, age has everything to do. If you're 68 and you're moving down to the Villages, you don't ask your 82-year-old buddy Tommy, hey, can you come help me move my couch? Like, you just don't do that.
What if Tommy's
Okay,
in great
Jesse?
shape? Why not?
Okay.
You telling Tommy what he can and can't do?
It's like Jack LaLanne
No, I'm
over
saying
there.
Tommy didn't want to help move. I don't think Ashton, for as good a buddy as he is to JG, I think he'd rather just go grab him, bring him some food over to his new house. I don't think he wants to lug an ottoman and a couch around 6 flights of steps to move. I don't think
All right.
Ashton wants that.
No. We're done. I'm not letting you besmirch Ashy. Remember, this is a guy who was moving mattresses and breaking down beds that needed to be taken apart. He's the best of us. Like we have our little group
awesome.
chat.
I'm not saying he's not. Does Ashton Rotman, now he's got a thriving business, he's promoted, he's got all this stuff. Does he want to spend a precious weekend moving JG's couch? I don't think he does. I think he'd much rather bring a bottle of wine over with some Rots Tots and sit down and enjoy a meal with his friend.
Rots Tots. I love those.
You know what I mean.
I don't know if his truck is up and running this weekend, but if he had a conflict, I do believe he would say, hey, I can't make it work. I've got to go make tater tots and hot dogs and stuff.
Jason,
but no,
you're not understanding.
I am understanding. I think
you do?
He's yes, I think he's the kind of guy that is who he is, and he would leap at the opportunity to help a friend. Unlike us, who we both avoided the question.
Would he prefer to just go hang out with his friend, or do you think he, at this point in his life?
But that's come on.
Wisconsin, Ohio State Saturday night.
No one, if given the choice between not helping someone move and helping them move, is saying, yeah, I'd like to try and strain my back to help someone move. Like if he,
that's my point.
But would you actually be offended if you think you're one of the best friends of someone and then they don't ask you to help them move? You'd be like, hey,
no.
What's up with this? You asked Jerry to help move, but you didn't ask me.
82-year-old Tommy
Thanks,
to help you
Jerry.
Move.
Yeah. No.
All right.
And we're at the point in our lives. It's different. Your 20s is a whole different world. You're a little more transient. You're moving. You're not lugging monster couches and ottomans. You're moving small stuff and all this. That's why I'm curious.
Okay.
The fact that you think he's 36, but you don't have a clue, that doesn't help me.
I've seen everything between 37 and 45 for his age now, based on sources close to the program. So if he is older than that, he looks younger. He's got great skin. He takes good care of himself, clearly. So
he's got great skin. Okay.
Whoa, Nelly! Maybe he takes his Prize Picks winnings and puts them into lotions and creams.
Or towards a moving fund, and lets Ashton just chill and then come. But I digress. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. If you had Kirk Cousins last night, pretty good idea if you went more
Unless
on
you had
him.
less.
Yeah, then that wouldn't be good. But it's pretty simple. You pick 2 to 6 players. You go more or less than their Prize Picks, his projections. You're not going against other people. You're not going against Ashy or JG or Giannis. You're just going against Prize Picks' projections. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that simple. Download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up today. First-time users, put that promo code of WIN, and you get a 100% deposit match up to $100 with the promo code WI. Again, go to prizepicks.com or download the Prize Picks app.
We got a few texts on the Tausch theory of desperation and bucket emptying and filling. We'll check those out next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Tosher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Following a 5-set loss to now number 1 ranked Nebraska, the Wisconsin volleyball team comes in at number 2 in this week's poll. Despite the loss, Wisconsin still received 1 first-place vote. The Badgers are 18-1 on the season, dropping their first match Saturday at Nebraska. The Badgers look to get back on the winning side of things as they head to Michigan State on Friday before returning home on Sunday to play host to Minnesota. Number 2 Wisconsin and number 1 Nebraska will get a rematch at the Fieldhouse in Madison on November 24th.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Braylon Allen here. When I'm running, tackling, and scoring touchdowns, I'll give you one guess what I'm wearing underneath my jersey and pads. That's right. Iron Jock Performance Gear is with me for every yard, every sprint, and every lift in the weight room. This is by far the best athletic apparel I've ever worn. Join me with Iron Jock Nation and get yours at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I got the magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold.
All right, Jesse, how is Tausch's theory being received on the text portion of the Talking Text line?
I'd like to say mixed reviews, but if I say that everybody's agreeing with me, then we'll start to get people going the other way on it.
It's true. You know, nobody wants that to be the narrative.
Tausch sounds like a Bears fan at the start of the season, thinking they could beat the Packers because Aaron Rodgers left. The Bears didn't get better. We got worse. That's from Drew in West Bend. Tausch, you were getting on the Bears fans
listen,
pretty good at the start of the year, and now you're getting compared to them.
I'm not. What did I say about the Green Bay Packers? This is a Minnesota
That
Vikings
if they beat
thing.
the Bears, they would go to the playoffs.
Yeah, I still think that I think this team is going to get better. I
agree they're going to get better. I agree.
Well, then what are you talking about?
You asked
Yeah,
what
they're
did
gonna
you
get better.
say, and I was quoting you. That's all I was talking about.
What I'm trying to say is the Vikings, this is much more about the Minnesota Vikings than it is about the Green Bay Packers. So, Drew, I get what you're saying. The Bears stunk. They had these big aspirations. But right now the Bears are playing better than the Green Bay Packers are, period. That's where we're at. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're reacting to. Reacting to what I saw from Minnesota, I was impressed. I don't think they can maintain it. I think they're going to be flat when they come in here Sunday.
Before we get to the next text, I do want to ask you this. So you have been, I don't want to say crestfallen, but, irritated, disappointed, bothered by the last two losses, the one going into the bye, the one coming out of the bye. Fair?
Disappointed, yes.
Okay.
Not crestfallen.
So now with your theory and with them playing at home and being desperate, like I believe they are as well, they need something good to happen.
They do.
if they do not follow the script that you are suggesting could very well happen, which, by the way, I agree with you on your theory. It would be more fun if I didn't, but it's a tough call because then if I didn't, then I'd be agreeing with Jesse, which I don't like the sound of that either. But I agree with you. I think there's these types of wins. Kevin O'Connell is going to spend his week saying we can't have a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great win.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we build on it instead of having a letdown. But human nature being what it is, I think they're going to have a letdown. That doesn't mean that the Packers are so good that if a team that's having a letdown comes into their stadium, they're definitely going to beat them. I'm not saying that. But what if they lose this one too, given your theory? How is that going to change how you view them?
Too, listen, my view since the Raiders game is that this team has not gotten better, that this is a big-time work in progress. We saw it again in the Denver game. And, again, I'm not frustrated that they're losing games. That's not what it is. I'm frustrated they're not getting better on offense. That's what I'm frustrated about. I'm not seeing anything. These young wideouts, I don't want A.J. Dillon leading the team in reception yards. I have no interest in that. That's not helping this team. That's not growing. That's not doing anything. That's where my frustration lies. Not that we're 2-4. I didn't think this team was going to be all-world. I want to see improvement. I'm seeing the opposite. That's why I've been disappointed.
Jesse, give us one more text.
Jeff in the 920. Old boy Mark is nuts.
Ooh.
I've been a Packers fan since 1969, and this is one of the worst teams I've seen since the mid-'80s. The coaching staff is terrible, and the players aren't much better. They might win 2 more games this year, and the Vikings will beat them by double digits.
I normally don't like doing Homer's shtick. I will do this for Homer because I'm not going to do this, but Homer will take that wager, Jeff. Just go take some cash down to, what's the place he likes going to? Ted's. Head down to
Ted's and Tosa.
You work it out with Homer as a proxy. I feel very confident that that's not the case. Very confident. Double digits?
If Jeff's been a fan since 1969, he would be even an older old boy than you in that equation.
He ain't helping people move. I'll tell you one thing. He ain't asking his buddies to help him move.
No,
and he ain't helping people move.
82-year-old
right
Tommy and Jeff in the 920. All right, you need to tell us about Tito's. I do want to quickly add this, though. When you say something like Jeff did there, that covers a lot of really bad football. I don't know if you have the ball in your hand in 3 of the losses where you can go score the winning points to win the game. I don't think it's as bad. It is. There's no doubt it's been bad.
It's been bad football.
But when you were playing on the farm, when you were playing on the farm with your brothers, there was even worse football. I'm not saying that makes this football okay. I'm just telling you that for those of us with long memories, this is not nearly as bad as it could be, but it is definitely bad and not good enough. Tito's is more than good enough.
What would make it worse?
Getting blown out by teams on a regular basis, which happened to a lot of those 70s teams.
I don't think the team in the 80s got blown out a ton, did they?
Okay, I will do some fact-checking for you. Could you please tell us
about
Tito's?
Do a little fact-checking. You can take it to the house. I don't know about the Packers' record in the 80s, but you can take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering simply by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batched cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 to enter. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
The 10 o'clock hour kicks off in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Hey, this is Eric Name of The Athletic. You're listening to Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Big news yesterday for the Milwaukee Bucks. Star Giannis Antetokounmpo has agreed on a 3-year, $186 million contract extension, first reported by ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski yesterday. Giannis also shared the news on social media. The deal includes a player option for the 2027-28 season, which commits Giannis, again a two-time NBA MVP, Finals MVP when the Bucks won it in 2021, through the duration of Damian Lillard's contract with the Bucks as well. So, drama-free. The Bucks head into the start of the regular season Thursday night, hosting the Philadelphia 76ers right here on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. Tonight, the NBA season tips off with the reigning champion Denver Nuggets hosting LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. Coverage starts at 6 after Rutledge and Hamilton tip at 6:30 right here on 100.5 ESPN. Wilde and Tausch continues now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed. I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins with something that Tausch saw on Get Up yesterday, but before that, I would appreciate it if on occasion you would at least acknowledge that I might know what the hell I'm talking about.
When have I said you don't?
Moments ago about
JG's age,
this team losing versus past teams in 1980. If you remember this, I'm sure you've seen the highlight. The Green Bay Packers opened the season with a 12-6 victory over the Chicago Bears when Chester Marcole's field goal attempt is blocked. And then Chester, who later writes in his autobiography that he was high on cocaine at the time, catches the deflection and runs it in for a touchdown. Packers win 12-6.
Good man.
The Green Bay
Could
Packers
use one of those this year.
I don't see Anders. Never mind. All right. The Packers' next 3 games. They lost to the Detroit Lions 29-7. They lost to the Los Angeles Rams 51-21.
Woof.
They lost to the Dallas
Cowboys. We'll take that. Am I right? We'll take 21 right now.
They lost to the Dallas Cowboys 28-7. Then they got hot. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals 14-9.
Good win.
Sounds like this.
Boomer Esiason. Kenny Anderson.
Kenny Anderson, I think. Yeah. Then they tied the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 14-14. And then they played the Cleveland Browns close on the road, 26-21 loss. And then a big win over the Vikings, 16-3.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
They actually swept the Vikings that year. Later in the year, they beat them 25-13. And then the Green Bay Packers finished their season to go 5-10-1 on a 4-game losing streak. They lost to Tampa Bay 20-17 at home. They lost to the Chicago Bears 61-7. They lost to the Houston Oilers 22-3. And they lost to the Detroit Lions 24-3. I don't think the Packers of 2023 are as bad as the Packers of 1980. Now,
what was their record? What was the 80 team record?
5-10-1.
Right? Okay, 5 and 6 wins. That's what you're predicting them to do.
Probably would have lost another one if they played 17.
It's probably true, actually. And the tie was nice. All right. Tausch saw something on Get Up that he was very excited about yesterday. And because we took calls for 3 hours as your source for therapeutic Packers talk, we didn't get to it. So we're going to get to it now. Now, Tausch, help me understand this. This was like a round table discussion about Jordan Love?
Yeah.
Okay, Thanks for clarifying.
What exactly did you want me to say?
Well, a little more detail
They
than that.
delved into. There's been a lot of Jordan Love talk still about accuracy and some of the other stuff, and I think Dan Orlovsky, who I like, you're not a fan, but I think his breakdowns are great, and he is a pro LaFleur guy, somebody that was thinking about taking a job with Matt LaFleur. By the way, I'd be all on board with that. I think it'd be great for him to do it. I wouldn't, if I was him, I wouldn't, because there's a lot more money. It's probably a lot better life for Dan to just be doing what he's doing. But I thought his breakdown and all of the other panelists, yes, Rex Ryan, I think the entire crew, there was another one today where Dan Graziano said he doesn't think Jordan Love's going to be the quarterback next year. Thought that was interesting. There's been a lot of chatter about Jordan Love. But I think what Dan said yesterday, Jesse, do you have the tape, or am I just talking about it?
I have the tape, yeah. Got it. Here's
you threw it to me.
Here's Get Up
You're the
yesterday. Because no one else wants to set it up.
Remember in the preseason, I was like, he's throwing the ball to the right spot all the time.
Yeah.
That's the difference for me when it comes to where it is right now. And I think Matt LaFleur has to figure out why in the guiding. The last thing I'd say is this. The thing, can we put up that clip on the 3rd and 20 interception real quickly? Watch his feet. Like, watch how bouncy he is up and down. There's no, like, I'm going to put my back foot into the ground and try to, look at it. He's hoppy. You know, like, see how hoppy he is?
Yeah.
There's no, like, I feel there's no force from the ground there. That shows up too often on tape.
The thing, too, though, he watched the dude throw like this for 4 years, though.
Totally, but that dude's...
But he's different. But what I'm saying is you watch and you learn from a guy who can do certain things that you can't.
Let's make sure it's
100%.
clear what you're saying. You're saying that a breakdown in fundamentals from Love might happen, at least in part because he saw Aaron Rodgers do it.
Like Aaron Rodgers got to watch Brett Favre play football, but they had a very similar skill set when it came to arm talent. Jordan Love doesn't have that.
He doesn't have that pop arm.
He's not able to just fling it out there or flick it the way we saw Aaron Rodgers. So some of those fundamentals need to carry over week to week. Those are things that he needs to focus on because if he doesn't, you get some of these throws.
Rex has a wry smile on his
because
face.
I might have missed that question, but I've been right on this kid. And I told you guys that after week 2, push the brake.
No one loves being right more than you.
Not a rookie quarterback, all right? He's been in the league now for 4 years.
Yeah.
I saw the same stuff in college when he threw 17 interceptions in 13 games. That's why I said, why the hell are they drafting this kid? All right, when they were in a championship game. And I'm never going to back off of him because I think the kid's got NFL talent, okay, especially mobility and things that I really like. However, he's so inconsistent, and he did a lot of great things in this game, but that's a team that gave up 70 points to a team.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just he makes the big mistakes at the wrong time, and that's what we've seen out of this kid.
All right, so I think, first of all, I think Dan Orlovsky is a very good analyst. My issue with him is that when he was doing stuff on YouTube, we were having him on the show. Now he's a big-timer, and the only time he comes on is when I'm not on. But here's the problem I have with that analysis. he's saying that he was doing all the right things in preseason, and now he's saying that he's bouncing and his footwork and whatever else. I mean, preseason and the regular season are not the same type of football.
Yeah,
you might want to
not.
just say, hey, maybe I overestimated how good he really was. Like, it's okay to admit that. Secondly, while I really like what Rex Ryan said there, because that has been our shared position. Not that Jordan Love himself was a bad pick, but the timing of the selection, given that you had just been to an NFC Championship game, was not good. And all these folks that love to say, well, the best time to pick a quarterback is when you don't need one. No, not when you're on the cusp of the Super Bowl with a guy at quarterback that can get you there still. So that's
and you
neither
just
here
signed
nor
him
there.
to a new extension, too.
Correct. Now,
That's the other part.
the part of that I found interesting, Tausch, was, and you gave me a hard time. We haven't even gotten to it yet. But my comment about how sometimes I do see these flashes of brilliance. The times that I see that, and I thought of this last night watching the game, and Brock Purdy wasn't always able to do this because he was under duress a lot. But when that 49ers offense is humming, it is all in sync. And you got after me for my timing remark yesterday about precision and timing. But the bottom line is this offense is predicated on that quarterback hitting his back foot and getting the ball out because guys are getting open on time and he's throwing in rhythm. And I do not see that occurring in this offense right now. And to Dan Orlovsky's point, that bouncy thing that he's talking about there, that's not knowing the timing or not being confident in the receiver being open or whatever it is, not being decisive, and that is part of their offensive problem. So I actually agree with that part of Dan's analysis.
Well, I think what we're missing or what you're missing is they're basically saying, yeah, you've watched Aaron Rodgers. You're following his mechanics. You ain't Aaron Rodgers. You don't have the arm to do that. That's
what you
saying.
liked about that? Really?
No, I'm telling you that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Right, but you
now,
really liked
they're analyzing
this.
it.
That's why we played it.
I liked the dialogue of it because I thought it was interesting.
Why are you
it's
getting
someone
mad at
that's
me?
not watching them. What, you're being irritating. So when that's what you liked about it? That's what you liked about it? If you'd let me finish, the reason that I find it interesting is Jordan Love's accuracy and his footwork is what leads you to where you're throwing the football. And if his footwork is off, that should be fixed. That should be fixable things. They're not doing that. Is that part of this process? It's something I hadn't thought of because I'm watching Jordan Love play. I like his command. There's a lot of things I like. Accuracy has been the issue. Can you fix it? Well, fundamentals is what fixes that. And if what Dan Orlovsky is saying is that's not the case, I trust him as far as quarterback evaluation a lot more than I do myself and a lot more than I do you. There. How do you like them apples?
You're such a knob. Here's the issue. Have you thought, before you heard this, that part of Jordan Love's problem was that he was trying to play too much like Aaron Rodgers? At any point did that thought cross your mind?
I hadn't thought of it. No.
Maybe it's because that's not what he's doing.
Maybe it is.
Good
Maybe
comeback.
it is.
So here's the thing. There's a play that I thought on Sunday was an example of him trying to be like Aaron Rodgers. Because I don't see him extending plays unnecessarily. I see him being indecisive, but I certainly don't see him doing what Aaron Rodgers was criticized for oftentimes, which was passing up open receivers to try and get something down the field or not taking the easy completion. The play that I thought that he looked like Aaron Rodgers on was when a defender came into the passing lane and he dropped down sidearm, and what I thought was a really good throw to get to Romeo Doubs, and Romeo Doubs doesn't catch it, and fortunately for them, the ball goes through his hands and into Jaden Reed's for a touchdown. That was an improvisation that I thought looked very Rodgers-like, and I thought was a good thing. I don't know how many people, other than, I think it's Ryan Clark that says that in that audio. It is not Dan Orlovsky who says he's trying to be Aaron Rodgers there. I think that was Ryan Clark that made that point. And my point is,
Ryan Clark said it and Dan Orlovsky said it too. And the reason I found it interesting, I had not thought of that.
Right, but isn't it
possible? Seen it. The bouncing.
Isn't it possible that you didn't think of it because that's not actually what you've seen? Because you've watched every one of their games from start to finish, and these guys have not. They're watching all 32 teams. Okay?
Dan Orlovsky, listen, you can say what you want about Orlovsky. He watches the film. He does the work. And he has watched it. And for the question you have is, are you want to take all of the things from these other quarterbacks? Yeah, I know Aaron took things from Brett. I know there are things he did exactly the opposite of Brett. And I'm sure Jordan Love has done that too. And are you in the point that they're making is both of those guys had elite arms. I think Jordan Love has a fine enough arm. Is it as elite as what Aaron Rodgers had? The answer is no. Is it as accurate? No. So have you, I guess, accommodated Jordan's strengths to the point that you know what he's good at and you're doing it? And I'd answer that question with no. You haven't. That's why I thought it was interesting.
So, wait, so now, look, I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm trying to understand you here. So now are you saying that the offensive approach has not been designed for Jordan Love? They have been approaching it the same as they would if Aaron Rodgers was playing quarterback?
No.
And Jordan Love is trying to be Aaron Rodgers?
No, that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying I learned some things on his footwork, bouncing, doing some of that stuff that was illustrated in that video, and it made me think, is that where we need to be? It's got to be more about from Jordan Love's standpoint, what is he good at? And part of it is Matt LaFleur maybe doesn't know that yet. Maybe that's part of it.
Which has been the argument that I've been making for weeks. All right, that's the discussion that they had on Get Up. We need to play trivia next so we can get to the Badgers Outsider. Jesse, what's today's category? I assume with Derek in the house, it's Badgers related.
Well, so normally Tuesday is Badgers Trivia Tuesday. We missed the sports weekend recap yesterday. There's a lot happening. So what I did today, because we're doing double Wisconsin geography tomorrow, today is Badgers, Bucks, and Baseball Trivia Tuesday.
Triple B
Tuesday.
All right. Caller 10 for Jordan Love, or 12 for Aaron Rodgers. Caller 10 for Jordan Love, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 10 to play trivia next. Want to remind you, I tell you about this all the time, but Gruber Law Offices, I've never had to use their legal expertise when it comes to a serious injury in an accident. I'm thankful for that. But it's great to know that they're there for us if we need them, just like they've been there for so many other Wisconsinites over the years. Check them out online, gruber-law.com. You'll find more out about their community work, about the lawyers at their firm, and how long they've been around as a firm. All the kinds of information you want to know when you need their legal expertise. Or just give them a call. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. That's the number for Gruber Law Offices. One call. That's all. Trivia's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here, reminding you there's no better product and no better taste than the delicious taste of Grassland butter. Just like sports teams in Wisconsin are held to the expectation of competing for a championship, Grassland Dairy is always expected to be the highest quality butter produced from farm to table. And year after year, for more than 5 generations, they have delivered. And just like a championship caliber sports teams, one of the keys to success after all these years for Grassland butter is the great players that make up the team. In Grassland's case, it's the hardworking dairy farmers all across Wisconsin who help produce the incredible ingredients that give Grassland butter its rich flavor. Thank you, farmers, and thank you, Wisconsin, from Grassland Dairy. Butter better with better butter. Check out some creative new recipes and learn more about Grassland's story at grasslandbutter.com. Grassland Dairy, crafting butter for 5 generations.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Dash the Dane. That's right, Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company has expanded their delivery offerings with DoorDash. New customers get $5 off your first order of $25 or more. And don't forget, Dash Pass subscribers always receive free delivery. Order delivery today at GreatDanePub.com or on the DoorDash app and get food delivered from the Great Dane closest to you. Downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. We're an independent, fee-based firm specializing in customized investment management, tax-aware wealth planning, and personalized client service. We're a steward along your financial journey because you deserve more than a run-of-the-mill experience. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Are you looking for a fast-paced job in a fun and exciting work environment? Look no further than Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. We offer a wide range of job and shift availability in both part-time and full-time positions. Competitive wages and great benefits await you at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Visit us in person or check out our website to see all of our job openings. Make work fun and apply for a job at Madison's only casino.
Madison Computer Works knows using computers is more dangerous than ever. Scammers try to scare you and steal your information or money. Emails try to phish your login and password. Online pop-ups and messages try to trick you, telling you there's something wrong with your computer, even when there's not. Madison Computer Works can protect you from these threats. Our computer care plans help stop the scammers and fix your computer problems. Call 608-231-8000 for the computer support you deserve. Madison Computer Works, computers that work for you.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Time for trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant. It is Jay in Pewaukee. Jay, good morning. How are you today?
Morning. I'm all right. How are you?
Super. The category, Badgers, Bucks, and baseball. Trivia Tuesday. The first question goes to Tausch.
All right, Jay, which TV network is televising this week's Wisconsin-Ohio State game Saturday night? Is it NBC, CBS, or Le Pay-Per-View?
NBC.
Correct, although Le Pay-Per-View is a good one, Jesse. Well done. Question 2.
Thank you.
I was good. Made me smile. The question 2 is this, Jay. The Milwaukee Bucks open the season this Thursday hosting the Philadelphia 76ers. But which team do the Bucks visit for their Christmas Day contest this year? Okay. Christmas Day, do they visit the Boston Celtics, the New York Knickerbockers, or the Miami Heat?
Boston Celtics.
I love your confidence. Unless Jesse has the wrong answer, it is the New York Knicks. But, Jay,
Tough one.
the delivery there, I love the delivery. Like, you always are very confident in your answers. I respect that.
He made me think I had it wrong.
He did. The way he said
may
it.
have.
I did, too. I was like,
wrong.
did Jesse get this wrong? All right, question 3 goes
All right,
to Tausch.
the Brewers have reached the Major League Baseball postseason 8 times in franchise history. All 8 times, the team that has eliminated – this is crazy. All 8 times the team has eliminated the Brewers have gone on to play in the World Series. Which of these is one of 2 teams who has lost a World Series after eliminating the Brewers from the playoffs? Is it the New York Yankees, the Philadelphia Phillies, or the Atlanta Braves?
Braves. Dang it.
Dang it. It is the New York Yankees, and I think that would be 1981 after they eliminated the Brewers and then lost to the Dodgers in the World Series in 1981.
And then coincidentally, the 2018 Dodgers are the only other team that lost the World Series after beating the Brewers. 6 of the 8 times the team has won the World Series.
Including when they lost the World Series to the St. Louis Cardinals, right?
Yep,
Does that include
that's
that
one of them. That's one of them.
Jay, 3 confident answers, only 1 correct answer. So you have 2 selections in Friday's drawing. We appreciate your loyalty to the show, bud. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
He there is no one who plays trivia more confidently than Jay. I feel very confident in saying that. Tausch, tell us a little bit about Fortria and how confident you can be that you'll make some extra money to spend how you wish by going into one of their studies.
If you're looking to pick up a little extra cash, Fortria has you covered. Right now, healthy adults ages 18 to 60, body mass index of 18 to 32. The study involves 2 stays of 15 nights, and you can make yourself a quick $13,820 for your time and participation. They also have a trial where they're looking for healthy males and females ages 18 to 55. Those females must be of non-childbearing potential. Body mass index between 18.5 and 32. That study involves 1 stay of 9 nights with 1 follow-up, and you make yourself $4,055. Go to FortriaClinicalTrials.com. That's Fortria, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com.
The Badgers outsider, Derek Blakesley, presented by PDS, joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Jesse Nelson here, encouraging you to get your team ready. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's Winter Adult Basketball Leagues is now open. With nearly 200 teams participating, nights are filling up fast. MSCR Adult Basketball Leagues offer fun for every level of player, whether you're someone really good like Ben Brust or someone who stinks like me. They welcome all participants. Put together a women's, men's, or all-gender team for 8 weeks of play beginning January 8th. For more information and to register, go to mscrsportsleagues.org. That's mscrsportsleagues.org.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
The standards have been set from quarterbacks that have been here before us, and you're trying to continue to raise your game until you get to that bar.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're going to evolve throughout the course of the season. It's always the fine line of what's too much.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Sunday's loss, another heartbreaker for Matt LaFleur's Packers team, who has lost 3 in a row and drops to 2-4 on the season. And yes, the game did come down to a Jordan Love interception late, but Matt LaFleur isn't letting Love take all the blame.
It's a true test to all of us. It is extremely frustrating. I think that the only thing you can do is test your resolve. But I do believe in the guys in that locker room in terms of the character that we have. But it does test you, no question about it. But you gotta look internally and see what can you control. What are the things that you can do better?
Practice for Sunday's home game against the Vikings gets underway once again this week on Wednesday.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
6.99 APR, 1 for 20 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers on 10/31/2023.
A bank that goes the extra yard? You got it. Show your love for the green and gold with Packers checking only from Associated Bank. Make every transaction a touchdown with your Packers debit MasterCard. And when you use it at the Packers Pro Shop, at the stadium, or online, you'll get 10% off. Associated Bank's Packers checking scores the home field advantage by delivering Midwest-based customer care, outstanding value, and more. Get in the game and learn more today at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. As we celebrate 90 years of serving the Madison area, to commemorate this occasion, we'll be giving away a .90 carat lab-grown diamond to one lucky customer. You can register to win at our store at 220 State Street or find us on Facebook or Instagram for your chance to enter the contest. Throughout October, we'll have a flash sale and other days when you can save up to 30% on some of our most coveted jewelry styles. 90 years in business is a long time. Help us make more timeless moments for you, our loyal customers. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Help us celebrate 90 years in business. In October, we'll have a flash sale and you can save up to 30% on selected jewelry styles. Visit us at 220 State Street or find us on Facebook or Instagram for your chance to win a .90 carat lab-grown diamond. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933. Yes, 1933. That's 90 years. Help us celebrate and make more timeless moments.
The best is at Goodman's.
The Badgers Outsider on Wilde and Tausch is presented by PDS, a Converge company, providing IT solutions and transforming IT for area companies for more than 30 years. Find what solutions they can offer you at pdsit.net.
The last time we talked to this guy, he was worried. He didn't feel confident about the Badgers beating Brett Bielema and the Illinois Fighting Illini. I'm guessing he's never been happier about being wrong. Time now for the Badgers Outsider, Derek Blakesley, presented, Tausch, by PDS.
PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. PDS is giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life. PDS wants to be your trusted partner in driving success with enterprise solutions, digital workplace platforms, and managed services that fit your needs. PDS, Paragon Development Systems.
Derek, good morning. How are you today?
It is that time, gentlemen. I think back to years upon years of us being on the show together, and we talk about Ohio State maybe more than any other opponent, and we only get to play them every once in a while, and we are 4 days from making that happen, and I couldn't be more excited for the opportunity. I think I've never been happier. I think you're right, Jason, to see a tackle-eligible kind of play to win, to change the trajectory and pick up momentum for this team going into a game where we have to show well to keep things going in the right direction.
I'm glad that you're excited about how things went against Illinois. They are playing Ohio State. You're aware of that?
I looked. I know it's hard to find a path. I dug into the numbers, I said, what can I find statistically and personnel-wise a path to victory for this Badgers team? And let me tell you, it was a long, arduous hike through the forests, and I didn't find a whole lot of hope. I mean, Ohio...
You found nothing?
Ohio State rolls into this game with not even its strongest roster it's had in a while, but with the kind of depth that can make the prettiest girl in the school blush. They have players at the wide receiver position with Harrison, Stover, and you look at the number of catches, you look at the yards, you look at the defense and who has tackles. It goes on. Most times when I look at the teams and I get the media documents and I check out, who the players are, one or two guys stands out. When you look at Ohio State, they just keep rolling and rolling and rolling with players. So if you want to talk about wearing them out or some type of strategy where you're going to grind it out, and they're not going to give away. They've got too much personnel. But what I think is on our side, never before has it been more clear with the Packers and Badgers this year, is the lens through which we judge teams and which momentum comes from truly colors our opinions and how we feel about each other and the teams we root for. The Packers have a comeback win, and it's like everything's on the right track. The Packers have a bad loss, and we should just blow the whole thing up. It's a very sudden change, roller coaster kind of thing, and I feel the same way about Wisconsin. I would hate to be rolling into this football game after a loss to Illinois, where we didn't have the play that seems to be driving us forward with a little more of a positive look at the team going forward. So let's just call it the play, and this weekend is going to have to be what's going to be going down in history as the Braylon Allen game, because it's going to be on his shoulders to run tough, to get lathered up like we've been talking about, and to produce yards and first downs to maybe get some good bounces to go our way for us to stay in this game.
Derek, what did you think about midway through the third quarter, watching the game down in Champaign?
We got to find ways to make first downs. That's what I keep over and over again. We go out there.
Did you believe that we'd win?
No.
The genesis of my question. Okay.
No. I don't have the confidence that we've solved yet. We don't have the identity figured out of where are we going to go when we need 4 yards? Who's the player we're looking to? I think it's kind of settled on Pauling, but we need to have
Nolan
another.
Rucci.
We need to be. Yeah, we have to be able to find a player, some reads that we can trust. I like the way Locke looks throwing the football, but I think he's got a very, very difficult task with the Ohio State secondary, which is why early in the football game we need to keep it on the ground, and we're going to keep it on the ground. And maybe, just maybe, that type of focus where we know what we need to do is going to give us the ability to execute a little cleaner. Maybe we're not going to pick up the penalties. Maybe we're not going to miss assignments. Maybe we're going to be a little bit more focused in on the block we need to make. And fundamentally, at the point of attack, we could be good enough for Braylon to get out and get some space and be physical enough to pick up some first downs. And like I said, shorten the game up, hope for some mistakes from Ohio State's offense, and then go from there.
Yeah, I thought Braylon Allen played his best game as a Badger on Saturday.
He's looking – I think this may be a little controversial. I think Braylon's a guy who has 5 gears, and most of the time he plays somewhere between the 3rd and 4th gear. I believe he has got the next gear, the 5th gear, the gear that turns it on. And I'd like to see more of that from him, but I think we're definitely going to see it Saturday, and I think it could make a difference because he is an elite college athlete. I don't know if he's an elite college running back, but he's an elite college athlete, and when he really knows that the team is on his shoulders and that the crowd's going to be watching, he's a show pony. He wants to know the eyeballs are on him. When he does that, I think he's capable of playing at another level.
Show pony notwithstanding, what did you think of Braden Locke? And I thought what was interesting was the way late in the game he made plays, the throw down the sideline, obviously the tackle-eligible plays, what everyone talked about, including Tausch in his takeaways. But it looked like he grew up some during the course of that game. Did you feel the same way?
Yeah, I liked the ball to Skylar Bell. I thought the ball to Skylar Bell on the boundary was a play that you would not expect from a freshman in a second.
That is the throw I meant.
And because Pauling made a great play in the end zone, that ball was up for grabs, and he found it. I look, people are loving the way the ball looks coming out of his hand. It maybe even if you read some of the message boards, maybe even more better than what Mordecai was doing. But I think when you play Ohio State, you got to make a decision, right? If you try to get your quarterback hot at the beginning of the game, or at least warm and throw some easier passes, they sniff that stuff out and they will jump those routes, and you risk pick sixes. So I think as far as how this game plays out for Locke, I don't think we limit that playbook early at all. If we're going to make mistakes, let it be. The pass rush is intense from Ohio State, so we're going to need to get the ball out quickly. But I think that keeping it toward the middle of the field and those intermediate routes are probably a better option for us than just trying to really get it underneath or throwing the outs to the boundary. And we seem to have avoided that a little bit even this last week. So I think the plan going in, we're going to run the ball on first and second down, and then on third down we're going to do what we have to do to pick up. But I would expect to see some shots early to see if we're able to create any separation down the field. And maybe we can, maybe we can't. But we've got to try to line it up, and our best chance is with the ball in Braylon Allen's hands.
So the part of the game that I think swung the complete momentum was we could not block Newton. We just couldn't. He was all over the place. He gets ejected. I still don't know how Braden locked into. The shot that he took on him and bounced back up, but then Newton gets ejected, and that to me was the springboard that allowed Braden Locke to settle in and make those throws. So I think you could make a claim this week with Ohio State and what they're able to do rushing the passer. You better be Braylon heavy, and you better be on it from that perspective, or it could be a long afternoon.
Yeah, you're kind of stating the obvious. You get in these games, especially in the first quarter, and they're going to be coming upfield, and let's be kind and say there's a little bit of leakage that tends to occur from time to time on the left side of our offensive line especially. We're going to have to deal with that. So I think it's going to be a lot of clear-out routes and then moving somebody right out across the middle, short kind of check-offs and easier passes, and hope to God that we have some open players. But let's be honest. This is a game that's probably going to hinge on whether somebody on defense can make a play, and probably early in the game. Zachman has looked really good the last couple games. I like the way he plays. Wohler's a guy that's going to step up and play hard in a game like this. CJ Getz, these guys that are getting better every week, they have to have the feeling like this is their time. Their time to step up and get a strip sack. Their time to get the interception. Hallman all season's been a ball hawk, much improved. He's going to be out there having to deal with Marvin Harrison Jr. Stover is probably the top tight end in the country. There's some matchup issues, but that doesn't mean there's not going to be opportunities to make plays. We can't be dropping the ball like Rodas Johnson did earlier. We have to take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves. And I'm thinking about a play on our side where Ohio State's looking like they're doing one of their typical drives, just playing fast, moving the chains, moving into the red zone, and they score. We need to have a drive like that where we make a big play in the defensive backfield or get a pick or pick six that flips the score and flips everything to help eat up what looks like a 14-point line on the game. So that kind of play is what I'm looking for to have any hope early on in this game and to keep it close.
I love the flipping of the switch from last week, and you were preparing us for disappointment in Champaign, and now here you are brimming with positivity going into the Ohio State game and a matchup with Maserati Marv and the rest of the crew there. I do want to talk about tackle-eligible touchdowns and trick plays. I'm also curious, since we talked about it earlier, when's the last time you helped someone move? More with our Badgers outsider, Derek Blakesley, presented by PDS. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar.
We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Stoughton Trailers. Big trailers and big opportunity at Stoughton Trailers. Positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. To apply today, go to stojobs.com. Following a 5-set loss to now number 1 ranked Nebraska, the Wisconsin volleyball team comes in at number 2 in this week's poll. Despite the loss, Wisconsin still received 1 first-place vote. The Badgers are 18-1 on the season, dropping their first match Saturday at Nebraska. The Badgers look to get back on the winning side of things as they head to Michigan State on Friday before returning home on Sunday to play host to Minnesota. Number 2 Wisconsin and number 1 Nebraska will get a rematch at the Fieldhouse in Madison on November 24th.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it yourself at 2 convenient Madison locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Honda certified technicians handle it all. You can even get flexible payment options. Fix your car now and pay later. Apply online to see your options in seconds with no hard credit check. Make your service appointment online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every U. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semra with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Ryan Schmidt from Edgewood High School. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're a big soccer guy.
I am.
You had to sell a few people on you playing soccer?
Just a few people. So my dad is a huge baseball guy. He didn't want to do anything with soccer at first, but then my brother got involved with soccer, and then he kind of was forced to get involved with it as well. I feel like ever since then, he's like grown on the game, but he still doesn't like know much about it. He'll go to my games, but he just won't go to a professional game.
Other activities. You're a soccer coach.
Yeah, I was a youth soccer coach in the spring for Magic. That team was just very special to me because that was the first team that I ever coached. I would just bring my soccer knowledge to them, and they wanted to be there every single day, wanted to learn, wanted to do everything that we wanted them to do.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
Continuing with our Badgers outsider, Derek Blakesley. All right, we referenced Rucci's touchdown. We talked a little bit about Tausch's conversation with him on the field earlier this week, which you haven't seen it on Badger football's social media channels. It's well worth your time. And Tausch does bring up his Christmas touchdown. And I saw Gray Rugemer yesterday, and every time I see Gray Rugemer, I think your holding penalty ruined one of the greatest plays in Packers history.
Sure did.
But what I loved about it, and maybe this is me being a phony baloney, because had it failed miserably like Aaron Rodgers to David Bakhtiari, I probably wouldn't feel this way. But you call that play in that moment, that takes some guts, to say the least. Derek, you're an emotional Badgers fan. As you watch that play unfold, given the scenario, your thoughts as it's happening, and then your feelings when it basically wins the game.
So I'm listening to Tausch and LePay on the call, and I run into my house, and I caught the end. And I thought that was everything personified about why college football is so fun. I mean, we're playing down against Illinois. I mean, this is not an earth-moving matchup. Has some implications in the Big Ten West, but when that happened and you saw it, and the call on TV was great too, was just this feeling of overwhelming happiness for Rucci and for the whole team. You just saw it was almost like a cathartic moment for the team. Like they needed something to go right. And like you said, the call was so gutsy, and it was not one of these tackle-eligible things where you lob it in there and it lands right in the old breadbasket. Rucci's got to go up and get it. And that made it all the better, is the way he went up, he got it. And let me tell you something. I'm all about theatrics. I've been in the big time.
Oh, you are all about theatrics.
In that moment, Rucci turns around and he faces the crowd in Champaign, and he takes the bow. The bow will live in infamy. And I think that should be part of our identity. As we're out there to put on the show, we execute the script the way we're supposed to execute it, and then we can go and give that kind of optic, the little bit of swagger about it taking care of business. I loved the entire sequence, and I'm telling you, I was going to try to position this as a trap game for Ohio State today, but I see they play Rutgers next week, so I'm like, I don't think we can call it a trap game.
Rutgers is bowl eligible.
People might have nightmares about Greg Schiano. I don't know, but I don't think Ohio State's too worried about it.
Tausch, in your conversation, I believe at one point there's a discussion of high pointing the ball.
Yeah, he did high point it.
He did.
Derek is right. Normally, like when I caught mine and when other O-linemen catch touchdowns, it is because you're so wide open and the ball just flutters to you and you can't drop it. This was not a great throw by Braden Locke. That wasn't one of his better throws of the day. He had just made his best throw of the day. This ball was high, and if Nolan is not 6'7", and, by the way, got off the ground, he plucked that with his hands. That was not some easy, typical, lazy catch that a lineman could make. He went up and made it, and my favorite part of the whole deal, going through it, he padded the whole thing, he was most concerned about getting a penalty. He did not want to get a penalty because he's sitting here, he's a backup, and he said, this is my first big contribution to the program. He's a 5-star kid. You know that there could be a ton of ego that's at play. And Nolan Rucci's like, no. I'm going to go do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to have a ton of fun with it, but I'm not hurting my team, because at that point, you give up 15 yards and all of those other things that could come into play. So I liked his mindset on how he approached it, and then also making sure he didn't do something stupid and selfish that would have hurt his team. I enjoyed the experience with Nolan quite a bit. It was fun.
Again, you can check out that conversation on all the Badger football media, social media channels. It is well worth your time. All right, Derek, you've brought all this positivity to us, and we appreciate that. Tausch was bringing some positivity earlier about the fact that and I don't want to misquote him here, that the Vikings, after their win last night, are ripe for the picking for when they come to
For sure,
Lambeau
that's fair.
Field.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Because they're feeling really good about themselves, not necessarily creating momentum with such a big win, but actually they emptied the bucket, and now their bucket might be empty. You are never afraid to have a philosophy on just about anything. What do you think of Tausch's philosophy about Packers-Vikings on Sunday at Lambeau?
The NFL's been tricky this year. I mean, I think the Patriots picked up a W. You see the Bears playing better. That's what I said earlier. It's this lens of how we're looking at teams week to week, and it's a week-to-week league in the NFL. You get a win, and all of a sudden you can get a lot of thoughts in your head of how things are going in a positive direction. You lose a couple, and all of a sudden it's Jordan Love can't play quarterback, LaFleur can't coach, the defense can't cover.
That is what's being said.
It's been brutal. It's been brutal. But they're professionals, and we've had moments, especially in the second half, where we've played well. So let me just say this about the Pack and the Badgers, is if they do what they're capable of doing, and in that locker room, that's where it matters, right? My philosophy, that's about my philosophy on these things, is it's about what's happening in the locker rooms. Are they feeling good about – and the Packers, I don't think it's going very well. Let's just be real honest. I think the Packers lose that football game, and I think we're in for a bit of a – because I don't feel good about how things are going there, especially in the coaching ranks. I think at the end of the day, we'll look back on the LaFleur era. He should have gotten rid of Barry a long time ago, and that would have fixed some things. From the perspective of the Badgers, I don't think this tank is empty. I think that these games, and the NFL too, that we saw some this last week, where you just can't find a reason why you would win a game. Those are the games where somehow it happens. That's why you play the games. It's going to be loud. We're going to have the kind of environment at Camp Randall that is synonymous with supporting positive plays early and really taking that and using it as jet fuel. The Packers, I don't know. I think when you look at that, I see that the Vikings coming in I don't agree with Tausch. I think it is unlikely we come out with a win there because we just don't have that same mojo going at this point. There.
What's more likely, Derek? What's more likely?
Oh, come on! I knew you were going to say that.
Well, no, because you just tried to say, well, I don't agree with Tausch. That's fine. You don't have to. What's more likely to happen this weekend in Derek Blakeslee's mind?
It's more likely that the Packers are going to win than the Badgers because of the disparity and the talent. You know, the Packers are much closer to the Vikings, obviously. Position group by position group and matchup by matchup.
I wouldn't have thought that the way you were just talking. That's why I brought it up.
But I'm trying to bring it all together in that.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep the possibility alive so people should watch because we spend so much time benchmarking ourselves to the Buckeyes. To watch the game. These has happened. I was just talking to Craig Karmazin before I came in.
Ooh, name dropper.
Wow. Name dropper.
Craig said,
big.
This has happened before. We have seen this happen at Camp Randall twice before that we're talking about. The Packers, even if they get the win, people have gotten so negative now that then you got to worry about the next week because, and there's a myriad of things that you got. And that's why you guys were yelling at each other. I was afraid I was going to have to mediate a potential divorce when I came on.
No, I wasn't anywhere near that. All right, we're going to let you go, but I would just like to point out for everyone that last week you were pessimistic about the Badgers, and they won. So your pessimism about the Packers is probably good news for all of us. Thank you for your service.
I do what I can, and I would note it took a miraculous play call and a catch from our tackle in order to get us over the hump in Champaign. So we're literally one little step away.
Hey,
from
Derek, before you go, if let's say that play doesn't work, and it's 4th and 3. You're in Coach Fickle's shoes. You going for it or are you kicking the field goal?
I'm kicking the field goal because of what you said earlier. Their defensive tackle had gone out. I'd like this in overtime because who was left on the field. If we were at the 3 or the 4, you kick the field goal. I don't think we're reliable enough, but I think that could change this weekend against the Ohio State front because, like I said, guys, this is all we have to do. This is our option. We're going to turn around. We're going to hand this ball off after we all eat lunch and do whatever else we do before the snap gets back there. And we're going to see if Braylon Allen can make some things happen and put this team on his back. I'm not saying the Badgers are going to win, but I'm saying of the guys that I mentioned.
You're not saying they're going to lose.
Look, I've been talking about putting Jean Meta on the field for 3 weeks. They put him out there. He looks like he should go to the NFL right now. So if we're going to put our best players out there and give them a chance to play. Quintez Cephas all over again. Well, and I was right there, too. You guys always bring up and make fun of me, and I'm the foil of all your jokes, but there's not a lot of you telling me I've ever been wrong. So if you're a fan at home.
Oh, no. We've definitely said a lot of times
I can never remember a time in my 5 years that I've actually been wrong. not been proven wrong.
Whoa, Nelly!
That's just fact.
Thank you, Derek.
Have a great day, guys. It's a big week. Stay vested and cheer on and support the team. We're gonna make a game of this on Saturday.
Thanks to Derek Blakesley. We call him the Badgers outsider, and he's never been wrong. You heard him say it right there here on Wilde and Tausch. The 11 o'clock hour kicks off in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
A bank that goes the extra yard? You got it. Show your love for the green and gold with Packers checking only from Associated Bank. Make every transaction a touchdown with your Packers debit MasterCard. And when you use it at the Packers Pro Shop, at the stadium, or online, you'll get 10% off. Associated Bank's Packers checking scores the home field advantage by delivering Midwest-based customer care, outstanding value, and more. Get in the game and learn more today at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Get your team ready. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's Winter Adult Basketball Leagues is now open. Jesse Nelson here. With nearly 200 teams participating, nights are filling up fast. MSCR Adult Basketball Leagues offer fun for every level of player and welcome all participants. Put together a women's, men's, or all-gender team for 8 weeks of play beginning on January 8th. For more information and to register, go to mscrsportsleagues.org.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
It's NBA opening night. Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets begin the defense of their NBA title against LeBron, AD, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Coverage begins tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
9 minutes of fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down on my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left. So don't give up on. I'm not giving up, no, not me. Even when nobody else believes. I'm not going down that easily. So don't give up on me.
Thanks again to the Badgers outsider, Derek Blakesley. Always enjoy him joining us. But now we shift back to the National Football League, and it's Tuesday. And on Tuesdays, not only do we talk to Derek Blakesley, but we also do ESPN.com's Power Rankings Tuesday.
I think that in the 4.5 years I've produced this show.
God, has it been that long?
I know, right? I think this is the lowest the Green Bay Packers have ever appeared in the ESPN NFL Power Rankings. They were 20th last week, which may have been the previous record. I don't know for sure. They were pretty low a couple of years ago, too. But I think this is the lowest the Packers have ever shown up in the power rankings. Any guesses, fellas? Again, they were 20 last week.
Yeah, I'll go there 26.
Can I ask one question beforehand?
Sure.
Did the Denver Broncos, by beating them, move ahead of the Packers? Because I'm never quite sure how Domofsky's colleagues do this voting.
That's a fair question. It would appear that head-to-head results do not impact the ESPN NFL power rankings too drastically. Just based on some of the teams I'm seeing here down near the bottom.
Yeah, so then I'm going to say they're higher than that. I'm going to say, because I'll also be honest, like the Raiders lost, right, to the Bears with your guy, Aiden O'Connell at quarterback, right?
Well, Hoyer started, which I
Hoyer.
didn't know he was still around.
Boy, that's not good news for your guy. I'm going to say they're 24th.
All right, so since they're this low, we actually get to start at the bottom. This is the first for us on Power Rankings Tuesday.
I like it.
The worst team, according to ESPN's NFL Nation,
That's got to be
Carolina.
The only winless team, the Carolina Panthers. Checking in at number 30. Tausch, do you want to guess the reverse order?
Yeah, I do want to guess.
Okay, Carolina's 32.
Yeah, I would think Arizona's probably 31.
Arizona Cardinals, 1-6 on the season. They are ranked 31st in the rankings.
Okay. 30th. I think I'm sticking with Denver at 30.
Who would you go with if it wasn't Denver?
Oh, come
on. Who else only has one or two
I believe
wins?
Jesse would like you to get this right so he could keep going.
Just asking the questions. Yeah. It's not Denver.
Vegas?
No, the Chicago Bears check in at number 30.
No. The Bears just they just busted the Raiders' face in.
Bears are still 30 because apparently there's not
Yeah,
much value in
that's
the
foolish.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Unless you lose to them.
The Denver Broncos, the fourth worst team, checking in at number 29, even after the win. The Tennessee Titans, 28th. They're 2-4. The New England
traded their best player too.
The New England Patriots are 27th, even though they just got a win over the Buffalo Bills. These teams at the bottom with big wins last week. The New York Giants checking in at number 26.
Oh, so the Packers aren't 26. They're higher than that.
The team that beat the Green Bay Packers a couple of weeks ago, the Las Vegas Raiders, are 25th. So the Packers, despite the head-to-head loss, are better in the rankings than the Raiders. And that's where the Packers check in at number 24. Nice pick, Jason. 24 for the Packers.
I don't understand. Like, what are we even playing games for then? If they're not gonna take that into account at all.
There are two teams that beat the Packers that are ranked below them and have the same number of wins as the Packers have.
Yeah, power rankings is stupid. I'm starting to come around on that, Jesse. You've been saying it for years. That's really dumb. So.
Wait, has Jesse been saying for years that power rankings are stupid? I thought he loved power rankings.
I love the power rankings.
I think I'm the one who says they're stupid.
This is really dumb.
Yeah, you.
All right, so 24th.
By the way, the Washington Commanders, 23rd, one step in front of the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could look at this and lump Green Bay. Green Bay is lumped in with every one of those teams as we sit here right now. I think Carolina is definitively the worst team. I don't know what they're going to hang their hat on, but I don't think Green Bay, as we're currently constituted, I would say 20. I said 25 and up. Bottom 6, bottom 7, bottom 8 teams is where they fit in this NFL landscape as we sit here. Hopefully, by the end of the year, they're in that sweet spot of 15 to 20, and if they can be in that spot, they'll be on that borderline playoff. And I think everybody will watch this season and say, well, we've seen a lot of growth, which is what we all were hoping for. Right now, I don't know anybody that's saying, boy, we've seen a lot of growth. That's where we're at.
What were the 32 Rob Domofsky types talking about in their little blurb this week?
So this week, they were asked to identify the young riser for each team.
I'm going to get. I think I know who this is because I'm writing about him today, and I think Tausch and I both like him. And not just because Tay. I bet he talked about Dontavion Wicks.
Tausch, who would you say is the young riser?
Yeah, I would agree with Jason.
And you're
I
right.
would agree with Jason on that.
You are right, as is Rob Domofsky, that's who he picked.
And Rob is right.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the guy to be excited about. There's no doubt about it. And not just because he throws the football better than Emmanuel Wilson. And from what I understand, better than A.J. Dillon, who they also tried out that week for that play, and it was even worse. So sounds to me like if you're going to have somebody throwing the football not named Jordan Love, Dontavion Wicks is toward the top of the depth chart. But that was a fun play, too. Not as fun as the tackle-eligible play, but still a very fun play. All right, I really want folks to hear what Matt LaFleur said yesterday in response to my question about Jordan Love, because I thought it was really an interesting way to show support without painting himself into a corner on his assessment of Jordan Love. So we'll play that coming up next after Tausch tells us about Coors Light and the mountains that were definitely not feeling blue out in Golden, Colorado, if you're a Packers fan on Sunday.
And Coors Light, brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it is made to chill. Born in those Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978, Coors Light's refreshing, it's crisp, it's only 102 calories. That's why it's Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We'll hear from Matt LaFleur next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Stacy Bruner from Bruner Realty. People have been telling me that buying a home is nothing to joke about, so instead of telling you another real estate joke, I'm going to have somebody else do it.
Jesse Nelson here. Why did the real estate agent buy a skateboard?
Come on, Jesse, this is no laughing matter.
Well, when it's time to get serious about buying or selling, that's when people should do what we did and work with you.
Contact us at BrunerRealtyInc.com. Bruner Realty, homes to appreciate.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wheatrick family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See show for details. Offers at 10/31/2023.
You can drive cutting-edge design. 2023 Audis are on the lot and ready for delivery. You can save $7,500 on select Audi EVs with the AFS EV lease bonus. See dealer for details and exclusions. Eligibility is subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services. Cannot be combined with National Customer Credit. Offer expires October 31st. Stop in and test drive today. Check out our website to see our current electric vehicle inventory and our monthly specials. The search for your Audi begins and ends at Audi Madison off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. Drive yours today.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we commit to full transparency in everything we do. Because we're a fiduciary, we strive for the highest industry standards and on our ethical duty to put your best interests first. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape, creating a personalized wealth management experience. Care, competence, and clarity isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Hey, it's Alex Rowe. Football season is officially here, which means you better be doing it right with my friends at Door County Distillery. If you're a whiskey fan, you can't go wrong with the 9-time award-winning single malt whiskey from Door County Distillery. Maybe you like gin. How about that classic green bottle of gin from Door County Distillery? Or maybe it's the cherry brandy to mix up in your old-fashioned. Whatever it is, choose Door County Distillery. Visit their website, doorcountydistillery.com, for the retailer nearest you and all of those unique cocktail recipes. That's doorcountydistillery.com.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
So Matt LaFleur said a few things yesterday that we haven't had a chance to get to yet, and our discussion about trying to figure out what's going to work in this offense and all this other stuff that Tausch and I spent a lot of time talking about yesterday. I do want to get to that, hopefully tomorrow if we have time. But I thought this answer was so interesting because I thought it was both supportive of his guy and you know how much I love a good hedge. And there was a tiny little hedge that you had to be listening carefully to fully appreciate. But at the end of yesterday's media session with us, I asked Matt LaFleur this. Man, I know you're always saying it's all your fault, but I'm trying to understand. You know, a couple weeks ago you were explaining how you're carrying more stuff over from week to week to try and make it easier for these young guys. Are you still kind of feeling your way in terms of figuring out how much to give them and maybe how much to dress up stuff with more motion and stuff? I'm just curious how it's challenging you. I know it's your job to put them in the best position to succeed, but sometimes that's awfully hard to figure out exactly what that is. How challenging has that been, and where do you think you are in that process?
Well, yeah, I think like you mentioned the word. It is a process, and I think we're getting a better indication of what we do well and where we need to get the ball, and who we need to try to target, and you get a better feel throughout the course of the season, just in terms of giving guys reps in practice at certain routes, who can run certain routes better than others, and how does that get incorporated with what defense you're playing, and then you got to try to anticipate kind of some of the coverages that you're going to get from a defensive standpoint. And so I think, the more, it's just like anything. The more you do something, the more you learn, and the more you're around people, the more you learn them, and the better idea and the better vision you're going to have for them in terms of how you move forward. And, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Tape. So now that you have, what did you think, good, bad, ugly, from Jordan yesterday? And I'm curious specifically about the way he had the guy in his throwing lane on the touchdown that ended up in Reed's hands, how he adjusted that. That seemed like a pretty savvy play. It didn't work out quite the way it was designed, but did you like that play? And, yeah.
We worked on that tip ball drill.
Trick plays?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was great execution by Rome there. Yeah, I think, like any time you go through a game, there's going to be some plays you want back. There's no doubt about it. There's no such thing as a perfect game. And, there was a lot of things that I thought he did really well. And there's some things that obviously I think at the end of the game, we missed Christian on that in cut. I think he got caught up on the right side a little too long, and that's just part of it. I think for him, just the feel that you have in the pocket, when to move, how much you have to move, it's part of our journey together. But he's done enough for me to show me that it's all right there. And we just got to try to get, and it's not just him, it's getting the other 10, everybody on the same page. We can't have breakdowns up front, and we got to make sure that we don't have busts, whether it's receivers, tight ends, backs. It all works in unison. And so the better everybody is around him, the better he's going to look. And, I think that we still have, our confidence in him is not wavering one bit. So certainly I think as the play caller, you put a lot of onus on yourself when things aren't going well. And we'll continue to do that, but we've got to find a way to generate more points, because when you're generating points, it's just a totally different narrative.
All right, so that first part that Jesse played was actually what I was talking about, the figuring out what works with these guys. We can talk about that another time. But Tausch, the thing that he says in that answer that struck me was, it's all right there when he's talking about Jordan Love. I thought that was a very deft way of saying that we think he has the talent. And then he starts to say that we've got to get it out of him, and then he kind of changes his train of thought. I thought that was a very interesting way to express support for Jordan and confidence in Jordan. He uses that word later, but also acknowledging that it's not just talent. It also, you have to figure out a way to have it come out, and so far they maybe haven't done a good enough job of doing that. What did you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I think when you are listening to him, nothing has really changed. You're hearing kind of the same things. There's growth, and we have to go through a process, and it's a journey, and you're trying to get the best out of him. I think that there's no doubt that Matt LaFleur, Tom Clements, Steno, anybody over there has been impressed with a lot of the things that Jordan Love has been able to do. I still think there's a ton of question marks that those guys have as far as whether or not he is the guy. And obviously they're not going to say that. I don't think they're going to even hint at it, because you got wordsmiths that will jump in and piece together things to try to figure out, well, what does that mean? How does this mean? But they're very Wilde-esque, hedging. You feel almost like there's a hedge there that, well, they're going to put the onus back on me. That's what Matt LaFleur likes doing. He puts the onus back on him, but he also leaves you a little Hansel and Gretel breadcrumbs to say, do we have the personnel? I don't know if he's the guy. We're going to try to get it out of him. We're going to put him in positions to win. If this happens, well, we're young. We have this. So you're kind of hearing both sides of it, but I do think that he believes Jordan Love is positioned it can help him get to where they think this team needs to be by the end of the year. Does that mean it's there now? No. We all can see that it's not. So if he was saying that, I would say that's a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah.
So what he's doing is he's biding time. He's kind of saying, well, we need to get better. All of us do. And, the point that I heard Jeff Saturday say this morning on Get Up was very similar to the things you've said, which is, what do you expect? You don't have Bakhtiari, and you have all these young players, the youngest group of wideouts and tight ends that you could have. What do you think is going to happen? There's going to be miscommunications, and there's going to be things that don't look the way they should, but you hope that you'll get there. We've always said hope is not a strategy, and hope don't care about being 2-4, 2-5. That just ain't how the business works. Now, if you have everybody in the organization and everybody rowing the same way and saying, yep, this is what the plan is, no problem. I don't know the answer if that's the case. Fans, at this point, we don't matter. That's not what they care about. They care about, are we progressing? Are we doing things better than we were doing? That's what I'm concerned about, and I know that's what Matt LaFleur is concerned about. And if you can fix these problems, great. If you can't, that's when that criticism is going to continue to get hotter and hotter.
All right, so, and I don't know, I haven't watched it yet. I'll try to find it on ESPN Plus after the show. But you mentioned Dan Graziano saying on Get Up, and we all love Dan Graz. What do we call him? Gratz? What do we call him on this show? Gratz? Is that what it is?
Grazie.
Grazie. Mentioning today that he doesn't think Jordan Love will be the quarterback next year?
Well, it was kind of the hot take edition of Get Up, but they basically made him pick. Is he going to be or is he not? And I think the point he made is if he's playing like this and the Packers finish in that bottom 5, bottom 6, you don't think they're going to really kind of hedge their bets? They signed him to this deal, and this is the kind of the whole thought process of what Grazie said, was they didn't commit to him. They could have. They kind of hedged, and they could pay him as a backup quarterback next year, or the rookie quarterback, and nobody would care. It would be what it is. So there's not like that firm commitment that they're going. So that's why if he was playing lights out, I think Grazie would say, yep, he's going to be the guy. But because he's not, I think his points are very well taken, that he's not super expensive. They can get out of the contract. And if they don't think he's the guy, they can go to the young fella and draft a guy and continue to recycle and try to figure out who will be the guy.
So they have created, because of the Favre to Rodgers succession and now the Rodgers to Love succession, this idea that the Packers' way for quarterbacks is to draft them and then let them sit. I'm not sure that Rodgers and Love qualify as a true trend. Like, it's not like there's been a lot of quarterbacks they've done this with. Obviously, they acquired Favre. Like, can you see them drafting a guy to play quarterback and then him playing right away instead of Jordan Love because he beats him out in camp? Like, can you imagine what it would be like next summer if they have a first-round draft pick quarterback and I'm over on the sideline on the Comrex Field Tap app during the show talking about play versus play of, okay, here's Drake May, it's his turn with the ones, and then here's a very flattering photo of me with my hat on the video stream. Would you even allow your mind to go there right now? Because that is unfathomable to me.
No,
how
not right now.
crazy that would be.
But let's not fool ourselves. If you can't beat the Denver Broncos and the Vegas Raiders, you're in a position where you can legitimately lose to every team. Those are facts.
Except for the Vikings this week, whose bucket is empty.
And I think that you're going to see this team get better. And if they get to be a 6-7 win team like you predicted, I don't. But as I said earlier, if you are a 2, they have 2 right now. If they get to 4, they're a 4-win team, and you don't think Jordan Love has shown any improvement with his accuracy throwing the football, and you're in a spot where Caleb Williams or Drake May is available to you, you don't think that you're going to take advantage and bring someone in? Everybody that was all up everybody believed in Aaron Rodgers, you recall in 2008 they drafted 2 quarterbacks, one
You're right.
very early in the second round. So you're always looking, if you don't know that you have the guy, you don't have the guy. And right now, they don't know. They hope. And if Jordan Love stays on this trajectory, he has not gotten better, in my opinion, since week 1. He's not. He's made some plays, but he's been inconsistent, and there's a lot of reasons for it. if that's the case and you continue on, do I think that there's a possibility that the Green Bay Packers could select a quarterback next year? Absolutely I do. Is it good for the franchise if that's what happens? No, it is not.
All right, that is I want to get back to tomorrow a little bit more about this search for what the heck they're doing offensively, because I'm starting to come around on Tausch's position on that, and that answer that we heard earlier did not help me. What will help me is when Doug and his team from Kohler Services comes by and we take a look at our bathroom and look at what cool things we could do with it in the future.
Indeed, and if you've been thinking of updating your bath or shower like Jason has, Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for 150 years. And you think quality, luxury Wisconsin brands, Kohler is at the top of that list. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast professional installation and care for life. You can start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Just visit KohlerServicesWI.com today to request your free quote. Tell them that Old T sent you. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Whoa, Nelly is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we've helped hunters gear up for the season for over 6 decades. So as you prep for this year's hunt, shop unbeatable deals on supplies to make your trip successful. Like 10 packs of Grabber hand warmers, just $5.99. Save $10 on select styles of men's insulated hunting jackets and bibs. A Baronet Grounder 250 camo hunting blind is only $129.99. And assorted large bags of Diamond dog food are $3 off.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Get your team ready. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's Winter Adult Basketball Leagues is now open. Jesse Nelson here. With nearly 200 teams participating, nights are filling up fast. MSCR Adult Basketball Leagues offer fun for every level of player and welcome all participants. Put together a women's, men's, or all-gender team for 8 weeks of play beginning on January 8th. For more information and to register, go to mscrsportsleagues.org.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Have you been thinking of updating your bath or shower? Well, Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for 150 years. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
It's NBA opening night. Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets begin the defense of their NBA title against LeBron, AD, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Coverage begins tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Nice to know
Before we get to Whoa Nelly, when you guys watch Monday Night Football, which feed do you watch? I just
talking about like the Manning cast.
Yeah, I didn't realize Rodgers was on the Manning cast last night. I just happened to see that on somebody tweeted about he had mic problems or something. I watched the regular feed with Buck and Aikman, which I actually really like those guys. I know some people don't, but I didn't even realize he was on the Manning cast. So I just was curious if you guys knew that.
I did not. No, I watched the original broadcast as well.
I saw he was going on last night, but I still watched the traditional one. Like, unless there's someone that I'm really like, I wonder what the Mannings are talking about with this, or if like a crazy play happens with the quarterback, I like going to see what Peyton and Eli say about it, but for the most part, I stick with the traditional broadcast as well.
Okay, I was just curious. Time now for Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde and Tausch.
So speaking of Monday Night Football last night, we didn't review the top of the ESPN's NFL Power Rankings, but taking a fall, the San Francisco 49ers, after back-to-back losses to the Browns and the Vikings. What I want to know from you guys is what's the temperature check on Brock Purdy, who 2 weeks ago, Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike among others were saying that Purdy should be the lead contender to be the NFL MVP. He was 10-0 in his first 10 regular season starts as a starting quarterback, or his, how do you like to say that, Jason? His team won the first 10 games. And
his team was 10-0 in the games that he started.
So they've dropped 2 straight now. Tausch, what do we think of Brock Purdy? Is this going to last?
I think he's a nice player when everything is perfect around him. He still has to prove, just like Jordan Love has to prove, that he can be the reason you win and not be the...
Well said.
I don't know how that works. The reason that you don't win. I don't know if he's an elevator guy. I think he's somebody that will be, if your team is really good, he will bring you along, and I think he can do enough good stuff. But is he going to win you games just because he's Brock Purdy? I don't see that. But you have to respect the fact he's a late pick. I think his accuracy and the way he gets rid of the football, he made a couple of mistakes last night. And when you don't have Debo and you don't have Trent Williams, the rush gets there a little bit quicker. You have to make faster decisions. You don't have that jackknife guy that can do all these things. So I still think that with this team and as good as their defense is, they're going to be fine. But I would stop with the Brock Purdy for MVP talk. I thought that was foolish from the jump.
So, Tausch, if you had the choice right now today, and look, the head coach, Kyle Shanahan, I was reading a piece by Kevin Seifert on ESPN.com. Shanahan loves Kirk Cousins, which was why when you said the trade idea that you said earlier this season, it made a hell of a lot of sense. But he thinks he's got his new, younger Kirk Cousins in Brock Purdy, who's going to run the offense the way it's designed and all those things, right? So this is not going to happen. But if Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch called you because they couldn't get a hold of Goody, and you had the power to do it, and they said, we will give you Brock Purdy for Jordan Love straight up, would you take that trade?
No.
I don't think I would either, even though Brock Purdy has a proven record more than he does.
I would entertain it is because of you got 2 more years where he's making nothing. And Jordan Love, you're going to have to start paying. So all things equal, Jordan Love. Financially and where we're at, Brock Purdy, because Brock Purdy, you're going to be getting him for $250, whatever the league minimum is, for the next 2 years. Whereas Jordan Love, you're going to have to make a decision on if you're paying him the big Bonko dollars. I'd prefer to wait and see how that is. But straight talent-wise, no, I'd go Jordan Love.
So he is not, despite the 10-0 record, now 10-2, despite having played more than Jordan has, and despite the frustrations that Packers fans have had with Jordan of late, I agree with you. I'd still rather roll the dice and find out if Jordan can be as good as they're hoping he is than take a slightly surer thing based on what we've seen from 12 starts from Brock Purdy. Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly! All right, I want to play a little game here. Tausch?
Is it the Survivor Pool game?
No. We'll get back to that later in the week.
Will we? We didn't even do it last week.
No,
either.
I doubt it. It's over. Tausch won. Tausch, for the sake of this topic, I want you to be Brewers ace pitcher Corbin Burns. Your Corbin Burns. Jason,
right.
I want you to be Brewers manager Craig Counsell.
Is he really the manager?
For a couple more weeks.
Yeah, at least for now.
I thought it might be Matt Arnold there. Okay, go ahead.
The Arizona Diamondbacks are a Game 7 win away tonight from reaching the World Series and keeping the reverse curse intact of teams that beat the Brewers going to the World Series in the playoffs. Would you rather see the Diamondbacks in the World Series or not after coming to Milwaukee and taking care of business in a 2-game sweep? Corbin Burns, what do you say? You got
Corbin
rocked
Burns
in that
would
game.
say. Corbin Burns would say, I don't give 2 rips. I'm going to get out on my yacht in the Greek Isles, and I'm just going to hang out with my family.
Does Corbin Burns have a yacht?
I hope he does.
Is he listening
in
to
the
Yacht
Greek
Rock?
Isles?
He's probably
Christopher
yacht
Cross?
right. If you're going to go yachting, you go down the Greek Isles. That's where you go. I don't think. I know for a fact you don't really care. Now, if you have friends on the team, that changes things. But it's not like you get some great satisfaction of being able to say, oh, well, shucks, we lost to the world champs, so that means if we had just gotten this break, maybe we'd have been world champs. I actually think the other way. I think you'd rather see someone that you didn't beat or someone that beat you get knocked out. I would have liked to have seen, if I'm Corbin Burns, the Dodgers or somebody else to kind of step up their game and knock the Diamondbacks out. I don't want the team that knocked me out winning.
So you, Corbin Burns, would rather see the Phillies win tonight in Game 7 and end this little streak.
Yeah, it's just more entertaining, too. I'm a fan of the game. I want to entertain me. Going to is it the bank that they call it? The bank looks a lot more fun than the little swimming pool cesspool down there in Arizona.
All right, Skip. Hey, you played in Arizona for a while in your career.
Did.
Scored a game-winning or World Series-winning run. Would you rather see the Diamondbacks win tonight?
All right, I'm confused. This is going to sound like a criticism, and I don't mean it to, because this is a really good question, and I really have enjoyed watching a lot of the baseball. I watched a lot of the division series while I was writing, and I've watched every game basically of the 2 league championship series.
What are you writing there, Craig?
I was writing about the Packers because I'm not going to manage the team next year, and I'm looking for another gig. I hear Wilde's looking for a second for the State Journal. Why do we have to role play for this? Like, why?
I just wanted you to role play. I haven't role played in a while.
Okay, but I could be anybody, right? Could I be like Niger Morgan? I don't know why he popped into my head. Or CC Sabathia? Do I get to be anybody?
I just thought maybe you'd enjoy being Craig Counsell and Tausch would enjoy being Corbin Burns, and we could just have a out-of-body experience for a minute there.
So if I'm Craig Counsell, I don't care. If I'm Brian Anderson, either the player or the announcer.
Well, the announcer's calling the game tonight. He'd better
Right.
be impartial.
I'm with Tausch / Corbin. I just want to be entertained by a good game. Like, I'll say this, the LCS was fun to watch. I really enjoyed that. I like postseason baseball.
Yeah.
I don't really enjoy, like, mid-June baseball, but I enjoy postseason baseball. It's fun. I enjoyed watching it. It was distracting. I didn't get enough work done, frankly, because I kept getting sucked in by what was happening in the games. I have no idea why we role-played there. I don't get it. I don't understand.
I would
but
agree
it was
with
fun.
Jason.
Well, you mean Craig Corbin?
Whatever, whoever you are, yeah.
Whoa, Nelly! That is the end of Whoa Nelly, such as it was.
I had fun. I hope you guys did. Craig, Corbin, thanks for being here.
I just don't understand why we did that. That's all. I just don't get it. We will wrap things up next, Corbin. It's Burns and Counsell on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you at greatdanepub.com. Following a 5-set loss to now number 1 ranked Nebraska, the Wisconsin volleyball team comes in at number 2 in this week's poll. Despite the loss, Wisconsin still received one first-place vote. The Badgers are 18-1 on the season, dropping their first match Saturday at Nebraska. The Badgers look to get back on the winning side of things as they head to Michigan State on Friday before returning home on Sunday to play host to Minnesota. Number 2 Wisconsin and number 1 Nebraska will get a rematch at the Fieldhouse in Madison on November 24th.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
Get your team ready. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's Winter Adult Basketball Leagues is now open. Jesse Nelson here. With nearly 200 teams participating, nights are filling up fast. MSCR Adult Basketball Leagues offer fun for every level of player and welcome all participants. Put together a women's, men's, or all-gender team for 8 weeks of play beginning on January 8th. For more information and to register, go to mscrsportsleagues.org.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie. Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Former NFL player and Rose Bowl champion Tarek Saleh here for Carbon World Health. Carbon is much more than just another gym. They offer the best recovery in the area. Some of my favorites include red light therapy and cryotherapy. Improve your athletic performance, fitness and training results, speed up muscle recovery and reduce pain, and boost your mood with these simple and non-invasive treatments. Visit Carbon World Health today and ask for the ESPN Recovery Package. That's Carbon World Health.
John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. As we celebrate 90 years of serving the Madison area, to commemorate this occasion, we'll be giving away a .90 carat lab-grown diamond to one lucky customer. You can register to win at our store at 220 State Street or find us on Facebook or Instagram for your chance to enter the contest. Throughout October, we'll have a flash sale and other days when you can save up to 30% on some of our most coveted jewelry styles. 90 years in business is a long time. Help us make more timeless moments for you, our loyal customers. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Help us celebrate 90 years in business. In October, we'll have a flash sale and you can save up to 30% on selected jewelry styles. Visit us at 220 State Street or find us on Facebook or Instagram for your chance to win a .90 carat lab-grown diamond. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933. Yes, 1933. That's 90 years. Help us celebrate and make more timeless moments.
The best is at Goodman's.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
I want to circle back to where we started today to end the show. Because I was Team Tausch on this, about the Vikings feeling good about themselves and your theory after their win, that I do not think this is now they really got it rolling. Because I think they are an inconsistent team, just like the Packers team they're going to play on Sunday. My question for you is this, because you've brought this up many times about 05, and maybe this young team is different. But are we teetering close to the here we go again vibe that you remember sensing on that team? There were a lot of veteran guys, and maybe young guys don't feel that way. They're too young to really get jaded, for lack of a better term. But if this doesn't play out the way we were talking about it at the beginning of the show, and they lose to the Vikings, are you a little worried that they're on the precipice of things really going the other way like they did on you guys in 05?
No, I do think you stipulated that with the veteran part of it. I think that's more of the veteran part of it. Young guys don't know any better. I think they just think, let's just keep playing. We'll eventually kind of figure it out. But the problem is the confidence part of it. And the only way you really get confidence in anything is by having some success in I'm putting in this work and I'm starting to see the results. Because you can get frustrated. You have to trust that process. And when you're doing it, and as a coaching staff and as a bunch of players, if you consistently are going out there and you think you're doing all the right things and you think you're making the adjustments and you still don't figure it out, that can be very burdensome as far as how are we going to even – then you start wondering, can we even win a game? That's what starts compounding when you lose to bad teams. That reality slaps you in the face. That's the hard part about this business.
We'll talk about that and many more things tomorrow. Tomorrow's a Brian Bulaga Wednesday, remember, as well. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us today. Thanks to Justin Garcia and the Badgers Outsider. And thanks to you. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin.